right. So, where we last left off, I'm pretty sure the last conversation in the episode specifically was Ahi talking to Ozen about the future of her career as a Delver and possibly becoming super ultra powerful once she learns a little bit more about her parents. But I don't know, maybe we'll see. So, we did get kind of cut off before. I believe we ended it off with you being completely done with Ozen in your private meeting, right? There's nothing else that you specifically wanted to say to her?
Nope.
Okay, sounds good. Let's just say all that's good. It's ended. And as far as the time of day, it's still pretty early on in the day. You guys had pretty much gotten up not far after dawn to go talk to Ozen. So it was like not long after breakfast. So Hoblog says that for the rest of the Blue Whistle test, they will most likely, or he suggests that you guys go up the following morning, so you have a full day to go all the way back up. So you can also have just the rest of the day to kind of explore around the secret camp and kind of get to know people a little bit better and just kind of hang out in general because...
Gross.
I know, right? Because you guys had gotten back late the previous night, so it's good to just have a full day to get accustomed to the area. So let's just say, like, after all this ruckus has gone on, it's like a little bit before lunchtime. Is there anything that you guys specifically want to do in the seeker camp?
Last night, I believe I read the books in the library, so I think this time I'll just explore.
Okay. Any particular area, or are you just kind of just exploring all around the camp?
I mean, it's not very big, is it?
No, it's not that huge.
Yeah, I'll just get all up in those nooks and crannies, explore everything.
Yeah, I'd say it'd be, somewhere around like 5,000 square feet, something like that. So
I don't know how big that is.
Our house is around 2,500, so think of...
Oh, well, that's not very big at all.
Let's make it 10,000.
That could be explored in a couple of hours. Big. Yeah.
God, you could only afford a 2,500 square foot house?
Okay, 20,000 square feet. I was way off in my assumption, and I realized it as soon as I said the square footage of my own place, but just trying to give you an idea of how big the place is if you want to explore around. And Maruk specifically is very happy to show you guys around if you're looking for anywhere specific. If you want to chat with her anymore. Hoblog at this time would probably just be going around, hanging around with some of the other cave raiders. He probably hasn't seen them in some time. It's just getting caught up and maybe has a chat with Ozen or two. But yeah, it's up to you for the next little bit.
I will meditate on my spells.
Wait, what?
How commonly or often used is the elevator to get up in and out of the camp?
Whenever anyone goes in and out, they use it. Sorry. Yeah, I heard both your questions. So to answer them, pretty much whenever anyone wants to go in and out, they just ride up or down the elevator. And usually they pretty much always have a lookout, just manning the telescopes. Usually it's Maruk, but when she is off duty, as she would be right now, showing you guys around, there's someone else that would be manning it. And they are just watching to see who's there, and will lower it if people come up, as long as they appear like they are normal cave raiders.
All right, Gil would pop on down there and see who's on duty at the elevator.
Okay. It is just one of the cave raiders. You can actually, Gil wouldn't know this, but it's one of the people that you saw from the show. If you remember them, there was the 3 cave raiders right there. There was the really old guy, the younger looking guy that was a purple whistle, and the maybe late 20s person that was a black whistle. And the at this point, late 30s guy, still a black whistle, is manning it.
All right, I'll approach him. Be like, "Hey there, fella. How things going?"
Oh, things are going pretty good. I'm just manning the telescope while Maruk's showing the rest of you guys around. I'm assuming you are not with the rest of the party at this point, because yeah. Okay, cool.
Hey, you had many people coming up and down this thing today?
Oh, well, I can't say we've had anyone yet today. Unfortunately, as you well know, we had some people coming in other entrances, but no one on the normal elevator yet.
Well, I guess that makes your job easier.
Yeah.
Hey, this is probably a weird request, but as you can see, I'm still little old red whistle, kind of new with this whole thing, and this whole curse thing is a huge bummer. I'm trying to get up and down out of here. I was wondering if I was to just ride up and down this thing a bunch, do you think that would kind of like help, kind of strengthen my nerves against it?
He laughs at that a little bit and says, "Oh, yeah, you know what? It's one of those things that you'll never get completely over, but you do get used to. So I wouldn't say if you wanted to do that, like, for some point today, I wouldn't worry about it too much, because you're going to have a long trek tomorrow where you're going to have a lot of time to get accustomed to it. If you want, I can take you on a couple up and down trips if you want to feel it a few more times before tomorrow, your bigger expedition."
Hey, I got time to burn, so I don't want to waste it.
Okay, sounds good. He's like, "All right, yeah, just go out to the entrance and step out onto the platform, and I'll let you right on down."
All right, so yeah, Gil is going to spend some time riding up and down on the elevator, as much as will not annoy this guardsman.
I mean, he's actually very amused by this, and he's not really doing much of anything anyway, so he will take you on this ride as much as you want.
Cool. Yeah, I think Gil is like filled with like a newfound determination now that he has like a more clear idea of his path to Finn. So he's just like, it's time to buck up and get as ready as he possibly can.
Right, gotcha. Okay. So when you go out to the elevator, you can see there's actually like a little buzzer right next to the elevator. So when you walk in, you can hit that buzzer, and he knows to actually lower it for you.
Cool.
Oh.
You go straight on down.
Cool. Give me both a will and a physique roll. Let's see how this turns out.
That's a physique of 6 and a will of 0.
Okay, so how this is going to play out is that physically, like when it comes to like being nauseous and like that type of thing, like actually like throwing up, you're pretty good. Let's say it's like, once again, your sea legs. You've always been pretty good with that. But at the same time, going up and down this, you start getting a little bit of hallucinations that start to go on. You can see like your vision starts wavering a bit, and maybe you start to hear some sounds that you may expect to be not quite real, but you can't quite tell. And it seems to really just start messing with your senses a bit, but not anything that you can't like handle. It's not like blacking you out or anything like that.
Okay.
How many times do you want to do this?
I think as many as Gil could mentally handle before he like is like, oh, holy shit, this is getting too wild.
Right. Okay. Let's come back to that, because there might be something that happens, but I want to see what Tom and Ahi are doing during this time. So, Tom, Ahi, while Gil is doing the roller coaster ride, what are you guys going to be up to? I'm assuming at least one of you is with Maruk. I know Tom is at least getting the tour. Ahi, are you with him?
He will take the tour, and then when the tour's over, attempt to get some rest and prepare for the day ahead.
Yeah, I thought we did that last night.
I mean, they gave you like a little bit of a brief tour, but you guys got there kind of like late at night, so they like showed you like the washroom and like where the cafeteria was. But there's like more things in there. Like they've got like a library that has a bunch of like abyss knowledge that you could like spend some time in, and they've got like a little like a repair shop for artifacts and just like mechanic stuff. And like let's say your backpack gets ripped, you can like put that together, and just stuff like that. So,
yeah, I'll go for another tour. I mean,
and
I've been waiting all my life to get to the abyss. I'm going to soak in every detail.
Right, yeah. So she would just kind of like lead you around, and it would probably take like maybe an hour to show you like every little bit. Is there anywhere that you think you might like stop and be like, ooh, I want to spend some time here?
I mean, the library, but I did that before, so probably just everything.
Right,
all of it.
Gotcha. Ahi, how about you?
No, not particularly. I mean, I guess you would tell me if there was something that I'm not expecting to be there.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
But nothing I can think of.
Cool. All right, sounds good. And as far as the rest is concerned, like I said, it's around lunchtime. Maybe you guys like get some lunch or whatever. And I'd say you guys are probably planning on getting up early the following day, but like it's nowhere near rest. I mean, you'd be falling asleep at like 1 o'clock. So if you really wanted to sleep like 18 hours, then you could. But
no, I didn't say he was going to sleep. Just like go rest, like sit and
gotcha.
Just
Yeah,
be restful.
Yep, cool.
I think I stay up way longer than I should, just because I'm so excited.
Well, we'll get there. But let's say both of you guys would probably be like in the library for a bit. Does that sound pretty accurate?
Yeah, as long as there's comfy chairs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's actually
Get those bean bags.
cool. While you guys are in there, Gil, while you are riding up and down the elevator, after a bit, and let's just say with those particular rolls, it's probably getting close to where you are getting kind of mentally checked out. But you actually get to the top and you press the button, and the lift doesn't go down for a second, and you can actually see the telescope moving a bit and focusing off in the distance. And when you look in the same direction as the telescope, you actually see a party of people coming your way. And they're still pretty far, but they quickly get close to you. They seem to be pretty experienced, and you can tell that they are a group of raiders, proper raiders, all with black whistles.
I think Gil would kind of like flounder around for a moment because he's still like not sure if he's hallucinating or not.
Right, yeah.
But then kind of be like, oh, Jesus. And then step out of the elevator to let it go down to retrieve them.
Gotcha. Well, and it takes them another couple minutes to get all the way to the camp, but they get there, and they all ride up the elevator. And do you wait there, like at the elevator, to greet them first?
I'll go back up to my new friend at the guard post, the telescope.
Okay, sounds good. And actually, let me. He does have a name, but I forget off the top of my head what it is. Let me get that real quick.
I am ashamed that with all my Southern hospitality, I did not introduce myself nor ask his name.
Yeah, it's all good.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
He's one of those really obscure characters. Simred, that's his name. A name that wasn't ever even mentioned in the anime. It was a like manga comment somewhere.
Hey Simred,
I'm not convinced that's real.
Simred, through the looking glass, you recognize those folks coming up?
Oh well, it actually kind of looks like I might be the other part of Nat's group. Let me go ahead and grab Ozen real quick. I want to make sure she's here when they all come up. And he actually runs off of the telescope once he activates the lift to get everyone. Specifically like Ozen, and he'll probably go and find Baruch and just most of the people in the secret camp to greet them, because You probably couldn't tell super well from where you were in the elevator, but even from a distance, you could tell that they were pretty roughed up, which goes in line with the story that Nat told you.
Yep.
So they all come up the elevator, and in that time when Simred's going around and getting everyone, they probably collect Tom and Ahi as well. If you guys care to greet this group of whistles that are coming back.
At the very least, I want to know what happened. I want to be there to get a first account of the details.
Yep, sounds good. So they are, and by the time everyone meets up, everyone's just kind of like in the cafeteria area, because that's kind of like the biggest area for people to just sit down and chill. And yeah, well, like I said before, they all look pretty roughed up, but among them is actually one person who looks completely fine, and it looks a little bit out of place compared to everyone else, but he is also a black whistle. And the rest of the people basically just like sit down and are like chilling out, and some of the other people from the camp are like going around and getting them food. Maruk's like rushing to get them just some refreshments and stuff. And eventually Ozen comes in. You can tell they're kind of just like waiting for Ozen to get back, because she's the one that they are really meaning to inform of everything that's going on. So once everyone is kind of together in the cafeteria, one of the black whistles in the group speaks and says, "Hey guys, I'm sure you heard of kind of what was going on. I assume Nat passed through here before. We told him to get out with a couple of the other new black whistles, and it seemed like they made it back. Is all that true?" And Ozen confirms that Nat did indeed come back, and he says, "Oh, good. So we managed to get away from some of the other bandits and stuff, but we managed to take out some of the lesser experienced, but their leader, and it seemed like a couple of the more experienced bandits managed to get away. We're not exactly sure where they went though." And Ozen informs them of the lovely morning that you guys have had and everything that happened. So they are at ease there. So at this point, it seems like all of the bandits have actually been taken care of. And
Hooray!
yeah. And he goes on and says, "Well, I can't say that we actually managed to do it all ourselves. We just so happened in the midst of the fighting, while Nat and the rest of them were getting away, this young gentleman managed to come up and essentially single-handedly save our asses. I'm not super. I know his name now is Jiro, but I don't. I can't really say if I've got much of a chance to meet you. So, if you wanna properly introduce yourself to everyone, and you guys, out of character, know this person. This is Jiro, or the leader of the Beltero orphanage, Rico's teacher. He is the blonde, like white blonde hair person who at the time of the show was a purple whistle, and who was also Liza's apprentice. Do all you guys remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Briefly, yeah.
Yeah. So he actually has a pretty solemn look on his face, almost like he's happy that he managed to save these people, but like he is thinking of completely different things. Like this bandit stuff doesn't really concern him all that much. And after, like, once the roughed up black whistle is done talking, he actually motions to Ozen and says, Ozen, we need to talk about what I went down there for. I have some news from Front that I think you really need to hear. And she gives him a knowing nod and says, would you all please excuse us? We need to have a bit of a private conversation, if that's okay, about some ongoings down in the deeper layers. And when she says that, she actually gives Gil a quick little glance and a quick little crooked smile and walks out of the room with Jiruo.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as soon as the guy says Ida front, Gil is definitely like, oh shit.
Yes, yeah. So they walk out of the room, and the rest of the Black Whistles are basically just like fucking hangry as shit right now. They're basically chowing down on whatever food they had, and Maruk's tending to them. What do you guys do in this situation?
Gil is gonna sit here and wait for that guy to get back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not about to snoop.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to get murdered by Ozen, so I'm just gonna eat my breakfast and just live my life.
Really? I'm actually surprised at you, Gil, that you probably wouldn't pursue looking at that a little bit further.
I mean, he's gonna wait for that guy for Jiro to get back so he can ask him about Ida front.
I mean, we have the Abyss communicators. If you wanted to be sneaky.
Oh,
Well, we also have the
yeah, I was gonna say, hey, Tom, you got the little busy boy, right?
Oh yeah, you better not let me get caught.
I mean, it depends on how good a pilot you are. You think you could take it out for a spin, maybe get a little bit of a sneaky peek on what they're talking about?
Well, I did spend some time practicing. Okay. Is that it's proficiency, right?
We don't even let's hold off on any rolls for a second. What exactly are you guys going to do specifically? Are you gonna all walk out together? What's happening here?
I mean, I'd like to keep sitting where we are, and Gil and Ahi can stand guard, and I'm just gonna go into the busy bug and try to listen in.
You're gonna stand in the cafeteria with all the people around you, with in that position with your finger on your temple where you go into like a trance-like state?
Well, okay, I'll put a book on the table in front of me and look like I'm reading.
I guess what I'm saying is there's plenty of places elsewhere in the camp that you could go if you would so desire. Because you'll also have to release this thing. I mean, I guess you could release it in front of everyone in the cafeteria. I'm just trying to throw you a bone here, man.
You tell me there's no bugs already flying around in here.
Yeah, hey Tom, let's go back to your room real quick.
Yeah.
I just want to eat.
We'll get you a plate. Don't worry.
We'll say when you guys went in initially, I mean, people were passing out food, so you maybe had like already had a little bit of food, so you guys aren't like starving or anything.
I'm a growing boy.
Just to be clear, Ahi will agree to keep an eye out, but she's not going to implicate herself in this any more than she has to.
If you're sitting in the same room as us, you're implicated.
Plausible deniability.
All right, let's go back to our bunker, whatever.
Cool. And you guys can just all go back to let's just say Tom's room for now. And there's actually windows in these rooms. So there is a place where the bug could conceivably fly out of here.
All right, let's do this thing.
Okay.
I'm still going to set myself up with like a book in front of me.
Yeah.
So it pretty much looks like I'm reading.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. Okay. So you fly that bug out, and where exactly are you going to try and fly this bug to in relation to the office? Because if you remember, the office is a little bit less secure than it was before. You've basically got two blown open doors and a giant hole in the side, so it could kind of camp out wherever you want.
I mean, I'm going to stay as far away as I can while still being able to hear. So I'll just like hang out just on the other, like on the outside of the wall by the hole.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. That's gonna be close enough for you to be able to hear. As you're actually like flying around outside the seeker camp, you can see them slowly making their way up to her office. Because to get there, you actually have to go outside on those stairs. And you get there, and a couple moments later, they walk in, and Ozin pulls out one of the not destroyed pieces of furniture and throws down a chair and then chucks him a chair, and they both are basically just sitting in the center of the room. And Ozin says, "So, how did your little mission go? I assume that it did not go perfectly well, considering you are the only one to return. Is that true?" And Jiro says, "Yes, unfortunately, I lost my entire squad. We managed to infiltrate Ida Front to try and figure out what Bondrewd was actually doing after all the rumors with all the children and everything that was going on. And I gotta tell you, Ozin, there's a lot of nasty stuff going on down there. So pretty much all of your thoughts on him were true. And I found something very worrying, and it could explain some of his more nefarious deeds in the past few years. It looks like he has the zooaholic. And I don't know if you can fully grasp the implications of that right off the bat, but it seemed like he was to the point where most of his humanity was gone, let's put it that way." And Ozin gives a knowing nod to that, and seems like she was kind of expecting as much, and says, "Well, I take it, you were eventually discovered then, considering it was only you there. You that has made it back." And he says, "Yes, unfortunately, everyone else got wiped out. We got discovered only a couple days into our mission, and he kind of assumed what we were up to. I mean, it wasn't exactly too hard to deduce what we were trying to do, and some of the things he's been doing recently, he's definitely been trying to keep secret. So once he found out about us, I take it he knew he couldn't let us go. So me and give me 1 second and make sure I get this next part right. Okay. So, unfortunately, while most of my squad was wiped out while we were actually there, Lydia and I actually made it out together, but she was unfortunately gravely wounded, and we managed to make it out at least far enough away to get hidden, but she eventually succumbed to her wounds. And I assume you know what this is." And he whips out what appears to be a small white trinket that looks like the shape of a heart. And the heart as in the organ of a heart, not like the traditional like heart shape, but like it looks like a literal organ heart, a small white heart. And Ozin's eyes like go wide at that, and it's like, "Oh, well, it seems like you've become one of us." And she clutches her own white trinket around her neck and says, "Well, I'm sorry you had to go through that, but in the end, it looks like you can finally become one of the select elite." And Jiro actually like stands up and like kicks the chair away at that, and it's like, I don't give a damn about this damn thing. She meant everything to me, and I guess this shows that was obvious. And I know, Tom, you're the only one that's seeing this right now, but you can tell he looks pretty distraught. And Ozan actually stands up and goes to him, and in a moment that you probably would never see from Ozan, she actually looks like she is a bit consoling to him on that, and says, I know it's hard, but you know that to really tackle the abyss, you have to give up pretty much everything else important to you. So, I know how much you've always enjoyed cave raiding. This is the next step. You've given yourself to the abyss. And I have to say thank you, because you have figured out what's going on down there. And we can talk about it more later, but for now, let's just relax. You can go back up tomorrow, but for now, let's have a drink. And she walks over and goes to like one of her own private cabinets and pulls out a bottle of dark brown liquid and pours a glass for her, and they both knock one back and are both just kind of sitting there in silence. And they both just continue to drink slowly, not really saying anything for a bit, just kind of soaking it in and relaxing.
Yeah, this seems like a good time to fly out, since I haven't been caught.
Yep, sounds good.
Don't get too greedy, gotta make my exit.
Yeah.
So I'll zip on back. So it sounds like Giro and a team went down to, what's that place called?
Idafront.
Went down to Idafront just to scope it out, see what's going on. But his whole party died. But he came back with a white whistle. So,
just for some background, for Eds, I think the only one of us here that hasn't seen that part of the arc is Ian. Like the whole Bondrewd arc and what actually happens in Idafront, and so with the whole white whistle thing. But none of your characters, it's not even Tom or Ahi, would know specifically how white whistles are created. So
yeah, but I recognize the object as a white whistle, right?
It is not in the shape of a whistle, but it would be pretty easy to deduce that, especially considering like Ozan's gestures towards her own, that is what that is. But
yeah, like from context, I know his party died, and I know he has a white whistle. I don't need to make the connection. It's just I know what a white whistle looks like for sure.
Right.
But we don't know where he got the heart.
No, I just know it's a white whistle. Like as Tom, I would just assume that he like found it in the dirt or got it from one of the Idafront people or something. Like Morgan, know how white whistles are made, but Tom doesn't. Just his party died and he got a white whistle. Wonder how that happened.
Also, completely out of character, the Zoaholic is the thing that lets him basically put his mind in other things, right?
Yes, but obviously no one in character would know that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'll pass on that. They said something about Bondrewd has the Zoaholic. I don't know what that is.
I mean, kid, if you don't know what it is, then I sure as shit don't know what it is.
Actually,
it must be like a...
Yeah, you know what, Morgan? Go ahead and do a lore roll for me. Let's see if you know what the Zoaholic is. Because Rico did, and if Rico did, you might be able to know it as well. It's going to be a pretty high roll to know, but let's see.
Also, out of character from now on, everyone announce what your rolls are for the sake of the podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, I got a 5.
Cool. With that roll, that's a pretty damn good roll. You know that the Zooaholic is an artifact that has been missing for about 25 years, but you don't exactly know what it does, because it's no longer in any of the records anymore. It's kind of just been removed from them because it was lost and no one knows where it is anymore. So you've heard of it and you know that it has been lost, but you don't know exactly what it does.
I'll pass that on.
Yeah, and you know that it's a special grade relic, so it's something that is very powerful. Let's put it that way.
Hey, Tom, you think your folks might know something about that?
I doubt it. I mean, they're just school teachers. They don't really dive deep into all the artifacts, especially not ones that have been like lost to time. I can ask them. Gee, I wonder what to do with this information. That's a thinker.
Well, if it's an artifact, we got to find out what it does, right? We got to know.
Well, sounds like we're going to Ida Front anyway for Gil's son.
So, knowing everything you just heard about Ida Front, you still want to go down there with me?
Well, not right away. But we have to say not right away. I mean, they killed all those black whistles, and we are red whistles.
Yeah, but we have the power of believing in ourselves.
I've got the power of God and anime on my side.
Yeah, red is the color of the blood of angry men.
Exactly. Wait, what?
Well, it's funny considering you're about to be blue.
Oh.
Blue blood is royalty.
Well, I guess we'll just keep it in mind as we continue on our adventure.
All right, I gotta have a chat with this Jiro guy. Should we head back down to the cafeteria? Maybe I can catch him down there?
Yeah, they were just sitting there drinking when I left, but they might be done by now.
Cool. You guys head down, and a good chunk of those black whistles are still in there, just kind of chilling out and enjoying being in a safe environment once again. You can tell some of them have gone off to the rooms and are just crashed out sleeping. But you guys can chill in there for a little bit. Jiro isn't there immediately, but after like maybe 20-30 minutes, you actually see him walk back in, and he immediately goes over to the like the food line or buffet and grab some food and sit down and start eating.
I will slide right on in next to him.
You do that, and he gives you a bit of a quizzical look and says, "Oh, yes, can I help you?"
Hey, I know this might seem weird coming from a red whistle, but I couldn't help but notice you said you were going to talk to Osen about Outerfront, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Would you be willing to share anything about that place? What's down there? What's going on?
Well, unfortunately, the reason I was down there was a secret mission requested by Ozen. But I can tell you what everyone else knows, and that is that it is a large, almost city-like structure that holds the vehicle that you need to get to the 6th layer and beyond. And it is the last, or I guess I should say, lowest place that you can go and still make it back to the surface while still retaining your humanity. So, at this moment, it is currently occupied by a certain someone, and I was going down to meet with him.
All right. I don't want to make you divulge any secrets or pry or anything like that, but is there any chance you saw like a kid or a young man, maybe fuck, how old would Finn be at this point?
I think we said it was
He'd be like
19,
19.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
19.
Yeah. I mean, kid maybe not older than 19, 20. Maybe slightly leathery skin.
Well, I can't say that I didn't see anyone that didn't have the normal getup of the people that normally reside there, and unfortunately for your question, that is usually completely covered on every part of their body. So I can't say that I've seen anyone not adorning outfits like that, but whether or not I ever saw anyone who was young per se, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to say, but I can't say that I didn't see anyone like that, if that makes sense.
It's a lot of double negatives.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, what a fucking sentence that was. Holy shit.
Jiro's just an enigma, man.
Yeah.
These people that you say normally reside there, are they safe?
Yes, they are under the employ of the person I went to meet with. And let's just say that he makes sure that they are taken care of.
All right, I appreciate you telling me that. I won't take up any more of your time.
It's all good. I will probably be heading up tomorrow with you guys. I understand that you are on a blue whistle test right now, and you are heading out in the morning as well, correct?
Yes, sir.
Oh, the group of black whistles that I came up with, they were planning on heading out tomorrow as well. They just needed to stop by for a night to get some rest, so it looks like we'll all be going up together.
I heard that not all of them made it back up here. Do you know how many they lost down there?
Yeah, I guess I didn't go into specifics there about that. It's should have gone more into like who all was lost, but it looks like around like 8 people were in that group, and they said that originally there were 12, so 4 of the party were killed, and so the total party of 20 people that I think it was 8 people that you saw before with Nat's group. They all got away.
Got it. Damn, this goddamn hole just it takes and takes, doesn't it?
He looks very. What's that?
Nothing.
It was
Okay.
a sick Hamilton reference.
Ah, goddammit. But he looks very mournful at that, and you can actually see him kind of clutching a spot on his shirt, and he says, "Yes, it takes a lot." And I don't know if I mentioned it before, but he is still just wearing a black whistle to you guys.
Yeah. I will. I guess I'll see you tomorrow morning then.
All right. Have a good rest of your night.
Then I'll go back to sit with my 2 friends.
What's up, buddy?
And I will relay the information that I have learned to my 2 friends.
Yay. Cool.
Well, that solves the mystery of the Zoaholic, I guess. That didn't take long.
Does it? What did you find out about the zooaholic from that conversation?
Didn't you say about you can, like, not possess other people, but inhabit the body? No?
That was completely out of character when we discussed that.
Yeah.
Oh.
All I learned was that, like, there are people in Bone Druid's employ and they seem to be safe. So
Oh, I must have just heard it and thought it was in character. Never mind. We'll scratch that. Cool. Can we go back to the surface now?
Yeah, if you guys are good, you can just I don't know if you want to role play anything else left in the secret camp before you guys get up and leave tomorrow.
That's enough skullduggery for me.
Cool. Alrighty then. Well, you guys have a nice night in the secret camp. No crazy bandits attack or anything like that. Just a good night's rest. And all you guys, you three, the 8 cave raiders, Hoblog and Jiro, all are suited up and ready to go in the morning with you guys. And you set out on your trek. So you guys are with a fucking badass party. And the Black Whistles were kind of roughed up before, but they all look pretty okay now. You could tell that like the bandits, when they attacked them, it was like from what you can tell, a lot more people on the bandit side than the original 4 that you guys encountered. But they managed to take care of them all. So while they were wounded, they are all good to go now. So and the fucking hole in your arm, Tom.
Oh yeah, I meant to ask about that.
Yes, yeah. During the there's like a little first aid ward there, and Maruk would have helped patch you up. They actually have an artifact there that's pretty similar to the one that you encountered up at the CRG, where it was like that leather wrapped bandage that like healed your previous arm puncture overnight, and a similar thing happened here. So you guys are all good. You can go ahead and clear any stress or consequences away.
Oh yeah.
I'm too blessed to be stressed.
Hey, if we observe like the party we were going up with, are any of them wielding like the weapons that the raiding party had been using?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. God, it's even in my notes. I meant to bring that up.
God, fucking amateur.
Yeah, I know, right? The some of the weapons that the lightning rod gun that went to one of the Black Whistles, the bracers that would have gone to one of the Black Whistles, but Ozen stomped the shit out of those. The rapier actually didn't belong to any of the whistles. That seemed to be the Suave guy's own. And the Suave guy, there's a little jail area inside the secret camp as well, and he is just in there, and Ozen said that she would figure out what to do with him at some point, and for you guys just to not even worry about it.
I'm sure he'll be safe.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna worry about it a little bit, but
yeah, if you want to ask questions about that, feel free to. But
oh no, I'm not gonna worry that much.
Yeah. But that was also snapped by Ozen. There was the dagger that caused searing pain. That was actually also one of the Black Whistles, and I think, Tom, didn't you have that last? Like you had.
Which one?
The dagger that when it cut you, I can't remember who had that last.
I think I threw it to Ahi.
Right.
But Ahi would have given it back if asked by Ozen.
Yes. Yeah. It was one of the Black Whistles. And
son of
yeah, if you were willing to give that back to him, that person is actually also a woman around the age of 35, and she offers for you to keep it if you would so like it. It's not something that's super like precious to her, so if you really want it, you can keep it.
I mean, you know what the answer is going to be.
So, yes, you are now in the possession of that dagger. And lastly was that backpack arm, and that did not belong to any of the raiders. So,
Yes.
Tom, you now have a backpack arm that you can use.
I'm definitely playing with it while we're walking. If we're in like a safe place.
Right. Yeah. And I'm sorry. We should have done this earlier. You could have been playing with that the previous day before to kind of get a feel for it.
Tom, put that thing away. You'll go blind.
What?
Oh God.
I think Gil's gonna start doing a thing where he like tosses a rock at Tom. He's just like, think fast.
Do I catch it? Or does the backpack catch it?
Roll a proficiency check.
I got a 6.
Hey, that arm snatches it right out of the air.
I caught it so good.
Yeah. And specifically with the arm, it's actually attached to the inside of the backpack, and the backpack, when you put it on, kind of like molds to your back a little bit, and it doesn't it doesn't like stick any needles in you. It's not like connected to your nervous system or anything.
Oh God.
But it is not like that. It just kind of
Tempur-Pedic.
yeah, think of it as like really, really nice memory foam. So it like has a really nice seal against your back, and when you put it on, it's kind of similar in the same way to the busy bug, where it seems like it's almost connected to you in some way, and it feels like you have prehensile control over it, but it also feels like it has a little bit of a mind of its own. Think kind of like Doc Ock's arms from Spider-Man 2. So
immediately what I thought of.
yeah,
it's in my note as Doc Ock backpack.
yeah,
Make sure the inhibitor chip is intact.
yeah. So, if you want, it can have a bit of a personality of its own. If you would like to inject that in there, that is now your third arm.
I'll let that come out naturally over the course of the game.
Yeah.
Does it have like the vented frame in the back, or is Tom gonna get a sweaty back?
I was thinking about that. When you said it like suction cups to my back.
Yeah. The material that suction cups to you, and it doesn't really suction cup to you. It's not like it's sticking to you. It's it feels very comfortable. It is also very ventilated. So it feels like there's a nice amount of airflow there.
Truly, this is high tech.
Yeah. In other words, it is a very, very comfy backpack.
It's the best backpack that's ever been made.
Yeah, that also has a prehensile arm attached to it.
You'll have to pry this backpack out of my cold, dead hands.
That backpack is a cold dead hand.
I high five my robot arm.
I high five it with my metal fist. Clink.
Oh,
Should we have the arm wrestle?
I can't really do that.
Yeah, it's just a hand, I guess.
God damn.
And if you want to throw that into your artifacts, also for Ahi, since you have that dagger now, just so you know how it works, you can roll it with fight normally, and the physical damage is you don't get any pluses to the physical damage. It basically just acts like a dagger, but if you do connect with it, then the target automatically takes will stress, and you would roll actually shit, how did I have it? I think it was a flat 4 will stress if you manage to make contact with it. Does that make sense?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Sorry. Without pressing my fucking button.
Cool. Alrighty. So now that we got that in there, a whole section that I meant to but forgot about. Sorry.
Oh, speaking of things we forgot to do, after we like fought those guys and like got to rest that night, Gil definitely ate his victory spaghetti.
Nice.
Gotta have a good cup of sketty.
Scary.
Cool. So you guys managed to go with this newfound group, and with everyone there, you guys are pretty much fully protected all the way across the trees, back over to the flip, to the other part of the second layer. And you don't actually go up any real significant amount until you get to that point. But once you do, you're going to have to climb up that set of trees again. And that's going to be the first big ascension. And you guys have got a long way to go from here. So at least in the first little bit, let's have everyone roll physique and will checks just to see generally how you guys are feeling.
That's a 2 physique and a 3 will.
Cool.
That's a -2 physique and a -1 will.
Oh boy.
I'm just gonna be laying on the ground and my backpack arm is dragging my body.
For Gil, that's a 4 physique and a 3 will.
Nice. Okay.
Can one of the big strong black whistles just carry me?
I was gonna say, so Gil, with your extra prep from the previous day, you're actually pretty used to it. You're feeling pretty good, and you get a little bit of the hallucination effect, but you're kind of expecting it, and you kind of have a feeling for what it does, so it doesn't really affect you in any way. Ahi, in the same way as previously, maybe just a tiny little bit of throw up comes in your mouth. But you managed to...
He's got at just swallowing it nonchalantly at this point.
Yeah.
You should start carrying like Tic Tacs around.
Tic Tac artifact.
It's probably also because Ahi just completely gorged herself at the breakfast buffet before we came up.
A little bit of both.
I'm a young, growing girl.
And Tom, so in addition, so you guys all felt the second layer's curse the previous day, but it was at the seeker camp, which has less of an effect than right at the center of the vertical shaft. So it definitely feels more powerful than the previous day. And let's just say, Tom, it is like really, really hitting you hard. So you start struggling to really to make it up. Like you're just feeling really, really weak. It's like hitting you really hard. And at the same time, you're getting like really hazy vision, and you're starting to like hear and see things. And Gil, Ahi, are you gonna help Tom out specifically? Hoblog's like hanging out with you guys, so he'll like chip in if you want, but I want to leave it up to you first.
Oh yeah, if Ahi notices that it's happening, she will do her best, and by that I mean put a single hand on his shoulder and be like, "It's okay, bud."
I'm gonna say with those rolls, Tom is gonna need some like real help to like get up some of the stuff. At least the initial climb on the trees to get back to the flip over, because that part is pretty precarious and steep.
Hey kid, you doing all right?
No.
Here,
Get away from me, giant spaghetti!
Why don't you hop on? I'll give you a little piggyback ride.
Isn't Hoblog like 7 feet tall?
Hey, he's I think 6.5, but maybe 6'8". I don't know. He is a large man. Yes.
Shouldn't Hoblog carry me over? No. I'm gonna be strong boy. I can do it. Just give me a minute.
You know what?
I guess.
While you're climbing up, go ahead, Tom, and give me an athletics roll.
Athletics?
Yes.
For what?
We'll find out.
I don't know. That's a cool even 0.
Okay. At one point, while they're trying to help you out with your less than ideal state, you actually slip a bit and are starting to actually like fall over the side.
But won't my arms save me?
Ooh, you know what? That's good. Yeah. Roll a proficiency check to see if your arm completely stops you. Okay. That's
a 1.
Yeah, the athletics was a 0, the proficiency was a 1. The arm like tries to snag onto a branch, but the branch snaps and doesn't really help you out at all. Gil and Ahi, you now have a Tom who is starting to fall over the edge, who looks very dazed.
Ah!
Can I lunge out to grab him?
Yes, yeah, do what you can.
I will assist.
What would that be?
Let's go with. Oh man, you could totally do a shoot roll and snag him by the arm again.
I'm not gonna fucking shoot him with my harpoon again.
Not again.
I was thinking of this specifically, like if it came down to it, I think this time instead Gil would jump off to grab him and then turn around and try to shoot back up instead of shooting him with the harpoon.
I feel like it'd be physique.
I think
I'm good with athletics or physique. Makes sense.
I think athletics more in this case because it's more of a dexterous thing. I don't know.
I think 7.
Nice.
Ooh,
I was
big strong boy.
I was gonna say maybe it should be a grunt jungling roll, but you know.
That's what I was gonna say. I do have piggybacking as a skill.
But with that roll, that's literally the highest you could possibly get on athletics. You don't even have to shoot your harpoon. You see Tom start to slip off, and it looks like he's about to go over the edge, and you just fucking reach out and snatch him up, and you almost don't even like lose your balance at all in the process. You kind of have like your harpoon maybe like stabilized against a branch, but you're just fucking holding on to that boy, no problem.
Well, he holds out her hand too, and then just sees that it's under control. Okay.
God damn it, Ahi. Rude tuna.
Hey, Tom, you
Hey, I
sure,
tried.
sure you don't want that piggyback?
Maybe just this once.
How about for a couple minutes, get your bearings, I'll put you back down.
Okay. Thank you, Daddy Gil.
Yeah. The other whistles also saw that. Hoblog chimes in. It was like, "Whoa, Tom, that was a close one." But don't worry, we're almost there to the top. We can take a quick little rest once we get there. And you guys do. You make it to the top of the really steep section, and you get over to the other side of the flip, and you guys are back on flat ground again.
I think once my bad feelings pass, like the hallucinations and all go away, I'm gonna be very embarrassed to be like, thank you, Gil. Try to flex my muscles, be tough. I shake it off.
I know you'd do the same for me, little man.
I would certainly try.
So
onward.
yeah. So you guys can take. They actually want chill for a minute as well. They break out and maybe have some lunch. So the trek so far has been mostly the same as the trek there, or the trek down, I guess I should say, because it's mostly been horizontal movement. But now you have a good 2,500 some meters of vertical climbing to do, and Hobwog and you guys would have just known this by now, but the plan was to take 2 days to actually get back to the top, because, as you know, going up is way harder than going down, both physically and because of the curse. So the pace at which you guys go is about halved, and once you guys have lunch, you continue on your trek.
I'm gonna take my glove off because you said that my furry hand is a little stronger, just a little bit.
I mean, yeah, but it's got to be just as strong with the glove. What?
Yeah, was the glove holding
I don't
back your
know.
power?
Leather, it's slippery. I'm releasing my full power.
I mean, you can do that, but everyone's going to notice and comment on it.
I mean, that's fine. It's just on the surface with like children. I kind of want to cover it.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, the black
But-
whistles, they've seen it all before.
Yeah, I'm sure they're all pretty gnarly looking.
Well, let's say that you take it off during lunchtime while you guys are all kind of like sitting around, and Hoblog sees that and is like, "Whoa, Tom, what the hell is going on with your arm?"
It's a long story.
I thought Hoblog got like the full briefing.
Yeah, wasn't he there in that meeting?
Actually, you know, it's so he was at he wasn't there at the initial briefing. He was there when you guys got the gold. So, I'm not sure if he would have been informed of the entire thing.
No, but I was definitely wearing like a tube sock on my arm, so
Yeah.
let's just assume he knows.
Yeah, let's say Hobwog knows, and one of the other Black Whistles, and even Jiro, like, say that same thing. Tom, what's going on with your arm? Whoa!
What's the deal with that arm?
I can't even think of something clever.
I mean,
I don't know.
there's nothing to hide. These are very experienced people. You don't have to worry about like
Yeah.
bad information. If you want, none of them would have known about your guys' discovery in the first layer. If you just like over lunch, you can inform them and just like chat about it and say and reminisce and share wonderful stories.
Yeah, I'll say I kind of told him about it a little bit while we were eating, since I took off the glove. Just say we found like a bad artifact, and it did it, and now the energy,
CRG.
the CRG has it.
Energy.
Energy.
Man, what energy?
Hey, while they're distracted with Tom's hand, can I try to like get a quick word with Hoblog like off to the side?
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, Hoblog, this is gonna sound weird because I feel like this might be a taboo topic among you high whistles, but what do you know about Bondrude?
In the same way when you asked him about Ozen, he gets a serious look on his face, but this time it's even more serious. And
Well, that's pretty serious.
yeah. Once again, Hobog is a very jovial guy. He does not make that expression very often, but he does and says, well, Bondrude is one of the White Whistles, and he has been known to live at Idafront for many years now, and he's been seen coming up and out of the abyss on several occasions, but no one really knows what he's doing. Once you become a White Whistle, the whole CRG thing, you can be like Ozen and be a big part of it and still contribute and run the Seeker Camp, which is, a pretty big part of it. Or you can be like Bondrude and kind of go off and do your own thing, and no one's going to stop you at that point. Bondrude, he's been doing his own thing for a long time now, and as far as I'm aware, no one really knows what's going on. I did overhear Jiro say yesterday when he came in at the cafeteria that he needed to talk to Ozen about Idafront, but I really don't know what all that's about.
I'm assuming you've never been down there?
I've been at the edges of the fifth layer before, but I've never quite been all the way to Idafront, no.
I mean, if you had to give your opinion, would you say Bondrude is a bad guy?
From the rumors I've heard, he's someone that you really have to watch out for. I've personally, I've actually met him once before as he came up through Orth. He goes on trips to various places pretty frequently, and I'm not really sure what for, but in my time speaking to him, he seemed polite as could be, and a bit of a gentleman, but at the same time, he almost seemed a bit inhuman. It's kind of hard to describe. He talks in a way that seems like only logical sense matters. I'm not really. He seems almost free of emotion. Does that make sense?
I mean, I've certainly met people like that, and they don't tend to be people I would want to be around.
Yeah, when I was around him, he didn't overtly do anything that should make me worried, but at the same time, you kind of get that heebie-jeebie feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you know what kind of company he keeps?
As far as I'm aware, there are several people who have gone down to Idafront to see exactly what he's doing, and from what I've heard, a lot of people end up joining him. I'm not exactly sure why or what he's doing to get people to join him, but I do know that he does have his I don't want to call it an inner circle, but it's something along those lines where he keeps people he holds dear around him. I'm not really sure, in all honesty. It just seems like a lot of the people that end up going to Idafront usually end up staying there.
Have any ever come back?
Oh yeah, definitely some have come back before for sure. But they're usually not given the full permission by Bondrewd and his crew to really see what he's up to down there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, well, sorry to pry about things that seem touchy for y'all high whistles. Just
No,
curiosity.
it's all good, and in all honesty, I'm kind of curious myself, and hey, I know you're just a red whistle and all, but you're not much younger than me.
Well, us old geezers got to stick together, I suppose.
That's true. We got to keep these ones over here safe, and he gives a little point over to Tamanahi.
Yeah, cut to me showing a bunch of black whistles how I brush my fur with a tiny little brush.
Well, I mean, you try your damnedest to keep these young ones safe, but sometimes they break off on their own, don't they?
They're rascals, that's for sure.
And end scene.
Actually, to continue that scene, he's curious about one thing for you, Gil. He says, "Oh, Gil, I've been wondering. I've been living here for most of my life, pretty much as long as I can really remember, since I was, before I was 10, let's say. And I've always had a fascination for the abyss, but it's kind of been what I've been." I grew up here, and I've always had this fascination and this desire to explore down here. As someone who hasn't lived here for most of their life and has just come in, what's it feel like exploring here?
I gotta say, when I came here to Orth, I was not into the whole thing. I mean, just big hole in the ground, lots of people die all the time. But I'm still not totally buying it, but I gotta say it's got an allure to it that it's like in the back of your mind, something you can't shake.
Yeah, and he looks at you a little quizzically. He's like, "Yeah, that's kind of what I've been wondering about, because I've always made rational excuses for wanting to come down here, but sometimes it's almost like there's something drawing me down. You know what I mean?"
Yeah, I get that.
You, when you first came in, like when you first started like exploring here, did you feel anything like that? Like almost like the abyss was calling to you or anything?
Gil like pauses for a moment. I don't know. I mean, when I came here, I had a few nights of strange dreams, but I kind of just chalked them up to a wild first day down there.
Hmm. Yeah. I swear this place does some weird things to your mind. I don't know. It's I call it the curse of the abyss for a reason, but it's almost like it's more than that. It's almost like it's more than it's physical. There's weird stuff that goes on down here, man. I know you've had a little bit of your fair share, but I tell you, in the deeper recesses of the fourth, and well, I can't really say I've been to the bottom of the fifth. I have been to some parts of it. It's some weird shit down there, man.
Blog, there's weird shit all over this world. And I guarantee you, if I'd gone down to the bottom of the ocean, or if anyone could, we'd see just as dangerous and weird shit. But
You know, that's a very good point. I haven't done much exploring outside of Orth, so compared to you, I'm the novice when it comes to exploring, and he chuckles to himself.
I prefer horizontal exploring to vertical.
Cool. He gives you a clap on the back and laughs, and now end scene. Oh. Is there anything else that you guys want to chat about with the Black Whistles or Jiro or Hoblog or each other?
No, but I've just had a horrible realization.
What's that?
Did you name yourself and your son after fish parts?
Did you just now realize that?
I am just now realized that. Freaking Gil and
Morgan.
Finn. I did not put it together until, like, it was when Hoblog said Gil, and I was like, wait a hot minute.
Now, what was your wife's name? Did you give her a name?
It's Marina.
Gotcha.
It has 2 L's and everything. I'm deeply upset.
It's kind of unfortunate because your name Tom doesn't have any fish thing because Ian Dance is a tuna.
I know.
We got a lot
He
of...
can say it's not the tuna all he wants, but we all know it's the tuna.
Would you agree with that, Ian? Ian Dance?
Push to talk.
Oh, I needed to push the talk. I'm sorry. No, I don't agree with the fact that I don't dig it.
He's just a salted tuna.
God damn.
Turns out the realization that all he's going to learn is Gil is actually her father.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh boy. All right, so after that lunch, you guys continue on through the thicket of forests, and along the way, you guys actually hear a bit of a low growling coming off of the main path a little bit deep in the woods, and you actually see burst out onto the main path in front of you what appears to be a long, it almost looks like a serpent-like creature. It's got scales that run all the way down its body, but it also has 4 little legs. It almost looks a little bit like a salamander, but like really, really big. And it has numerous eyes all over its head. It has like 8 eyes that are all pointing out in different directions. And it opens up its mouth, and it's got big teeth, but they're almost like molar-like teeth for most of the teeth, except for 2 big canines that are in the front. And it is blocking your path. And Hoblog steps up initially with his big fire hammer. He's like, "Oh, don't worry, guys. I'll take care of this." And one of the black whistles chimes in and says, like, "Hey, wait a minute, Hoblog. Don't you think you should give the blue whistle trainees a turn? I mean, they're supposed to be down here by themselves in the future. Why don't you let them take a crack at it?"
Can you believe we had to have this conversation just yesterday?
What conversation?
Vlog not just wrecking everything that comes near to him instead of telling us.
It's in his nature to be protective, and he's like, "Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. Do you guys want to take a crack at it? We can all sit in the sidelines and cheer on if you guys want to prove you can protect yourself for your blue whistle test." He reads off of his hand.
I would like to do a lore check. Even if I don't recognize the body, the teeth sound pretty distinct. I feel like that's something I should know or remember.
Yeah, go for it. Tom rolls a 4 for lore.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I got a 4, and oh no, my goggles are only for plus to notice and investigate. So yeah, just a 4.
Mm-hmm. So, notice and investigate would be like noticing, like if it was far away or like hiding.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't remember if it was lore or not. But is this creating an advantage? Do I get
Yes.
+2?
So if we want to go ahead and just get straight into it, you could just take your turn first and use that to create an advantage. And in this case, you actually get +2 because you are a helpful boy. So this would actually be a lore roll of 6. And with that is successful. And you get to add +3 forward. And that forward is going to be, first off, come up with a name for this creature. Because I like you guys coming up with names, fun names.
I kind of like it too.
It's going to be hard to top your contributions from last session, Morgan.
I can't even remember.
Ground fox was a super exotic sounding creature.
You know, now you make me feel bad because the best I come up with was a flat-toothed salamander.
Rude boy. It's a rude boy.
It's a rude boy. Guys, don't worry. I think this is a rude boy.
Fuck yeah.
The Latin name would be Rudalcius Boetius.
Oh my word.
Yeah, I think I've heard of them.
It's the inspiration for the song by Rihanna. She has a song called Rude Boy. I know Nick's not going to know that.
Thank you for at least explaining it for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that lore check, you know that this creature is, for one, extremely territorial, but at the same time, it is also an herbivore. It does not actually eat meat. That is what all the big molars are for, because it's usually only eating plants. But it has vicious territory wars with the other animals of this layer, including more of its own kind, which is why it has these giant canine teeth on it. And with that, you actually know that those canine teeth, they are essential to its survival, because like if either of them break off, they won't grow back. So they are generally pretty protective of them, and any good hits to those canine teeth will generally ward it away. Well, essentially cause it to try and run away in fear.
Is that the only thing that'll make him run away? I feel like, as an animal lover, Talon would want to not kill them if possible. Mm-hmm. But is it territorial enough that there's no getting out?
You know that with sufficient coaxing, you can ward them off. You don't necessarily have to kill them. And the tooth thing is a good way to do that.
Okay, fair enough. All right, guys, it's okay. All we have to do is just get rid of those 2 fangs, and it'll leave us alone. Just go for the teeth.
Keep in mind that if you actually break the teeth, you're essentially killing the animal.
Just punch him, but don't break him.
Just make it very clear that you're trying to hurt its teeth. Maybe say something mean about its teeth.
All right, is that my whole turn, or can I actually do something?
You can't take any like offensive action against it, but you can like walk around or do whatever, position yourself, like that kind of thing.
Okay.
And after you identify it and tell the your teammates, Hoblog says, "Yeah, Tom," and gives you a thumbs up. Way to contribute.
Let's see. I have my pick, the compact pick, but I don't want to like pickaxe this thing's teeth out.
You're not going to be able to take that type of action.
Oh, okay. Then I'll just take a power stance.
You take a power stance behind Gil if you want for extra protection.
Yeah, like I'm trying to think of a better way to create an advantage, but
No, what more do you want? I gave you.
I don't know. I try to like play 40 chess, set up like a move, but I got nothing. So I'll have my compact pick in my hand.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And don't forget your laser. The laser that I gave to you, the very specific item that I crafted exactly for you to ward off creatures without killing them.
Yeah. I was thinking because it was light, it's not going to hurt its teeth. But
that you can use from range, so you don't have to get up close with your pick because you're a weak bullet.
Okay, I put the laser in the Doc Ock hand.
It's attached to your forearm. I guess you could attach it to that arm instead. So
that's right. It is like a little tube on my forearm. That's right.
Dude, that sounds kind of rad though. Like if you took it off your forearm and just attached it to like the prosthetic arm. Like I mean, do it if you want it. Like that sounds pretty cool.
All right, let's say when I was messing around at lunchtime, I put the laser on there just for kicks and giggles and like made like a light show.
Hell yeah.
Tom gets closer and closer to becoming Bill Burr's character from The Mandalorian.
That's what I've always wanted. But that won't work because I need to crank it to fire it.
No, you don't. A one-turn fire can happen anytime. The taking a turn to just crank it will overcharge it.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I'm not gonna crank it yet.
It's basically giving yourself advantage for the next turn, or +2 forward to yourself.
I'm gonna have it out and ready, and we're not popcorning anymore, are we?
Yes, we are. So you get to choose.
We are. Okay, so yeah. I'm a popcorn to Ahi.
All right.
So you can take +3 forward immediately for the tooth thing, and that is now an aspect of this creature. So you can invoke that aspect whenever you want with a fate point to add +2.
All right, I'm gonna get my heaviest sinker that I have, attach it to my razor silk, and attempt to whip it at one of the teeth, just hitting the tooth with the sinker itself by whipping the silk around. Not enough to damage it because I too don't think it necessarily needs to be slain. But enough so that it's, if you ever hit your tooth on a glass because you're
yeah,
that feeling.
Okay, this is gonna.
Does anyone have like a big bowl of ice cream to give it like brain freeze?
Oh, man, if only.
We'll ask Odie if he has that next time we see him.
Okay, to hit the tooth specifically, that's going to be a pretty fucking high proficiency roll.
That's fair.
Yeah, but
and I can take the forward on this without spending a fate point.
Correct. Yeah, you immediately get +3, but once you take that +3, then it's used up, and then from then on, you can use a fate point to invoke that aspect.
Okay. Do I have to decide whether to add the +3 before, or can I do it post-roll?
I can't remember what the specific rules say, but
I think like you'd have to decide before.
Yeah.
All right, I will take that forward and roll proficiency.
Cool. Go for it.
6 + 3 is a 9.
Gotcha. So that is a fucking outstanding roll. So
outstanding move.
You manage to. Oh god, yeah, that's what plus. Yeah, so you manage to whip that sinker, and it hits it right dead center on its let's say its left canine, and you can actually see it like rattle around, and with that roll you actually see a small crack form in its tooth.
Oh no, I specifically didn't want to.
You're too powerful.
But it's not to the point where it looks like it's like permanently damaged. It's just like a chip off the tooth, and you can tell.
Nice little boy.
Yeah. So you can tell that it really, really, really hates this. And while it doesn't really do any physical damage to it, you can tell it just took a lot of will damage, if that makes sense. So,
gotcha.
Yeah, it has a major will consequence from that, and it is essentially very scared right now, but it is not backing off just yet.
All right, excellent. If just with the rest of my turn, I'll instead of moving around, I'm just going to balloon out more silk into the area.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's all.
Cool. Do you popcorn it to the creature?
Right, I forgot to popcorn it. Yeah, I am going to popcorn it to the creature.
Okay. After you hit it, it does look definitely like it's been warded off a little bit, but you can tell it's like animalistic instinct takes over its territorial nature, and it just immediately sprints towards you, Ahi, and jumps on you to try and to take a big bite out of actually the arm that had the little whip or the sinker on it, the glove. So go ahead and you can do physique to try and tank it, athletics to try and dodge it, or fight to try and fend it off.
If I choose to do fight, and I do by our modified rules of fight, if I do, like if I would be in a position where I would be dealing damage back to it, can I choose to either not deal the damage or deal the damage in a specific way?
Yeah, you can try and angle it in a specific way so that it is like non-lethal. Like, let's say you manage to whip that sinker back up again, like when you're trying to defend yourself, and hit it in like an eye or even the tooth again, depending on how well the roll goes.
Okay, excellent. That is a 5.
Okay. This thing is fighting is kind of its main thing, so let's see how this goes. And I'm actually gonna spend one of my fate points here. Let's see. Man, I guess I could just invoke the fact that of the tooth thing, where it is now really, really, really pissed at you and extra aggressive to try and take you out. Is that fair for you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool. So it rolled a 7 in total, and so it is going to do 2 physical stress to you. You can either take that as stress or a mild consequence.
I'll just take it as physical stress.
Cool, sounds good. Let's say it lunges at you and it gets really close to just nipping at that arm, but it just barely misses and doesn't quite get you. And oh man, crazy crazy DM thing going on here. It's gonna do another thing, and it's gonna try, and after it bit you, it's gonna whip its serpent-like tail around and try to hit you with that. And it's gonna take another hit at you. So go ahead and roll another defend roll.
I'll roll a fight.
You know what? That's fucking bullshit.
Yet another 5.
Cool. Oh shit, boy! Big rolls. So even without the fate point, I actually managed to roll the exact same, a 7. So with your proficiency roll of 5, once again take 2 physical stress, and you can either take that as the stress or the consequence, whatever you prefer.
Once again, I will take stress.
Cool. All right. Cool. I popcorn it over to Gil.
How big is this creature? Like, how big is its head?
It is a pretty. Think of it about the size of a saltwater crocodile.
Okay. Seeing it like fucking up Ahi so badly.
I mean, it hasn't actually done any specific damage to Ahi, but it has come very close to the point where maybe Ahi's pretty stressed out, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean it's snapping at her a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna run up and punch it in the tooth that Ahi already cracked.
Okay, that's gonna be a fight roll for you then. And
oh fuck, it's really good at fight, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, well, whatever. That's what Gil would do. It's a 3 + 1.
Okay. You got a little lucky. That was a 4, so you'll just be taking 1 stress.
Oh shit! And then I'll try my best to position myself to try to like get in a protective stance for Ahi.
Gotcha. Okay. Yep. Sounds good. Cool. So you can popcorn it to anyone at this point.
I popcorn it toward young Tom.
Oh yeah.
Remember, you guys can spend fate points to invoke the tooth aspect or any other aspect. This is probably not going to be a super long session, and you've got 3 fate points to burn. So if you,
but they're precious, and we always use them all up.
right? Yeah.
He's just trying to trick you into giving him more fate points.
For the next combat encounter, that's totally going to happen.
For when we get to the top and Bondred's waiting up there to kill us.
The ultimate plot twist. I'm gonna try to create another advantage by shooting the tranquilizing laser into its eyes.
Okay.
Because it creates a lasting stun effect.
Yeah, so you could either you could do that 2 separate ways. The way that I originally intended it is that you could use it as a shoot to do direct will damage, but if you want to use it as a create an advantage, I think that would work as well.
I don't really know which would be better in this situation.
Based on how we've built your character from the previous from yesterday and how we talked about it, it would be easier for you to do create an advantage.
Works for me. I'm an assist, baby.
Cool.
Then I will do that.
Yeah. So basically,
I don't need to roll anything, right?
Yeah, you still do. So basically what this boils down to is that when you create an advantage, you can only give a set amount forward. For most things, it's usually 2. You have a benefit of it being +3.
Aha.
So that's good.
Also roll proficiency to see how good I laser its eyeballs.
This would actually be shoot.
Oh, right.
And you get a +2 to your shoot roll because of
my goggles. So I rolled a 0 +2 for my goggles.
Mm-hmm.
Is that good enough
the +2 is from the fact that you're trying to create an advantage. You are a helpful boy, and you get +2 to your create advantage rolls.
Yep. Got it.
So, would you like to spend a fate point on that to add +2?
Yeah, I would. Why not?
Okay, because if you do, then you successfully blind it enough to get an advantage on it. So it now has the aspect slightly blinded, and anyone can take +3 on their next roll, or can invoke that aspect for, I'll say, the next turn, for the rest of this turn. So,
then I will popcorn to, definitely not to the lizard. I'll go back to Ahi.
cool.
Keep it consistent.
All right, Ahi, you've got a possible +3 going to you. What would you like to do? And it's also like in your face right now.
Let's see. I actually want to. I'm going to try to use the extra painful dagger and just try to poke it in the gum right above its special teeth. And
dude.
I will use the forward as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So in this case, you would actually have to use fight because you're not using your whip for.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
That is
It's
a
like
1 + 3 is 4.
It's like a delayed action murder.
Would you like to spend a fate point?
Oof. Yeah, I might as well.
Okay. Reroll, or are you taking a 6?
I will. I'll just take the 6.
Okay, cool. Let me roll real quick. Oh, well, you got real lucky. It rolled really shitty. So, you actually do 3 physical stress to it. And you also get that flat 4 will on top of that. So, you said you were trying to poke it in the gum, right there, right?
Yeah, right above one of its teeth.
Yep. So you do that, and you make a pretty nice deep gash in there that looks like it would hurt like hell to begin with, and it like winces for a second and like moves back, and then you see like across its 8 eyes like what can only be described as terror, or I guess fucking just straight up what instinctual fear come across its eyes, and it starts like thrashing around and like slamming its like head on the ground and kind of like rolling over, kind of like doing like the crocodile death roll a little bit. It starts just kind of like rolling over on the ground.
I will back away and allow it to do its thing.
Yeah. And it slowly calms down, and it takes another look at you. Looks like it thinks for a second and scuttles away.
Yay! We beat your lizard puzzle.
You did. Good job. You beat my new combat test to see how it would work. What did you guys think?
0 out of 10.
I think it really showed how overpowered Gil is as a character.
He tried to punch and took 2 damage.
Our whole combat overhaul was, let me make it so you can specifically use physique when you fight, and Gil's really good. No, I'm just going to run and do a fight roll and not do anything.
Oh, boy. Cool.
But Tom and Ahi got to shine.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, you've gotten to shine in like every other combat encounter by being the tankiest fucking boy ever, so... Cool. All right, so it scuttles off. Everyone, all the black whistles and everything cheer and like, oh, good job, guys. Beautifully played. Good job taking advantage of the teeth thing. Nice job, Tom, bringing that up.
Ask, I guess just a group at large. Do you think it's gonna be okay, even though it got stabbed in the gums and we cracked its tooth?
I mean, you tell me. You're the animal expert.
I think it's more, I don't think he's gonna be okay, but I want someone to tell me it will.
You can tell that the physical damage done to it really wasn't that bad, but nothing will heal the mental scars.
Pride.
Gil regrets being petty and leaving the boulder in Ozen's office.
I forgot about Have you tried to use the cube at all anymore since then?
I tried to pick up the floor that one time, but since then, no.
Yeah, I meant since then. Like, if you want, like, this was kind of the only thing I had really until you guys are gonna trek all the way back up. It's gonna take another day and a half to get up there, but now that you guys have proven yourselves, there wasn't gonna be any more big encounters that the black whistles weren't gonna just bat away. So, you essentially have a day and a half of free time in the abyss while you're climbing.
For the sake of keeping the narrative interesting, I guess Gil will take a little bit of time to play around with the cube.
Okay.
While we're walking back up.
Right. If you play around with it, it's like I've said many times in the past, it works in a very specific way that you have to experiment to find out. So, if you want to like actually play around with it, we can like figure out like what's going on with it. You're gonna have to tell me exactly what you do.
Oh god, I don't want to look like a fucking dumbass when I can't figure out how this cube works.
It's nothing that's like esoteric or like fucking yeah. It's not anything complicated.
Gil's gonna go up to like a. I'm assuming there's some kind of like sheer rock face near us.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Gil's gonna walk up to the sheer rock face, press the cube against the wall, and in his mind, he's gonna picture the cube sucking up just the size of Ahi's head, just an exact replica of Ahi's face out of the wall.
That's beautiful.
And then press the button.
Okay, so you have an exact image of Ahi's head in your head, like when you press the cube up against the wall and press the trigger, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and it's all made out of the rock that you see before you.
Yes.
And in that instance, when you press the cube, or the button on the cube, it sucks that piece of rock up.
So there's just like a hollow Ahi face in the rock wall.
Oh my god.
Enshrined forever.
Gil will chuckle to himself and then walk over to Ahi and then just drop the stone Ahi head on the ground in front of her.
What is this?
I thought you'd appreciate a little bit of art.
Yeah? Where did this come from, Gil?
I'm just playing around with the little compression cube here. Didn't really help us out the way I thought it would back in that squabble in Ozen's office, so trying to get the hang of it.
Well, I mean, you dropped a on it. That worked pretty well.
How heavy is the bust of Ahi now?
I don't know. How big would a person's head made out of stone weigh?
I want to go with like, I don't know, 100 pounds.
100 pounds?
I don't know.
That's a heavy head.
Well, I don't know what kind of rock it is. What if it's like super heavy rock? Okay, like 30 pounds.
Whatever
30
it is. Why do you ask is the real question.
I was going to test how strong my Doc Ock backpack arm is. Just trying like holding progressively heavier things.
Gotcha. If you play around with Doc Ock you can actually tell that the grip strength on the little claw part at the end is, and we never really said specifically like what the hand part of it really looks like, and the more I think about it, the more I think it really is just kind of like a Doc Ock hand. So it's like three little fingers that like,
the little claw.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. It's not like in the shape of a human hand or anything. It's like literally like the three prong design, and that aspect of it is very strong. It has seemingly like very, very strong grip strength, to the point where the limiting factor when you try to pick stuff up doesn't really seem to be the grip strength of that. it seems to be the torquing on your body. So like if the arm like goes out and tries to pick up something to your side, imagine trying to pick up like 100-pound object like from your back on the side. It's gonna just like twist you over. So it seems like your body is the limiting factor there, not the arm.
No, it's too realistic. I just want it to be magic.
Oh, okay.
Because I was definitely going to try to pick up Ahi, but I see now that that's not going to work.
Yeah. You would still be holding Ahi with your body. If you can...
And I don't do that.
If you think Tom can squat Ahi, then yeah, feel free to pick her up with the arm.
I definitely don't think Tom can squat Ahi.
Not with that attitude.
I'll just carry the stone head for a while.
Cool. It's taking a surprise.
Yeah, I'll set it down a random spot later.
All right, I think because back in Ozen's office, when Gil tried to suck up the floor, when it failed, nothing really happened.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a little bit more reassured that, like, I don't think I'm going to cause like a mini black hole or something or hurt someone trying to use this.
Right, yeah. Would you like to try something else specific?
Yeah, so Gil's going to walk to another section of sheer rock wall, press the cube against the wall, and just like the eye he had, picture a very specific shape in the rock. So Gil's going to picture a perfect sphere, but imagine just like a 3-meter diameter sphere.
Okay.
So pretty big, bigger than anything he's ever like sucked up into the cube.
Right. When you imagine that you have specifically the exact like dimensions, not only do you have the shape of the object in your mind, but you have the exact dimensions in your head of what you want. You put that up against the wall, you press that button, and it sucks it all up.
Oh shit. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, boy.
Nick Potter. Say that he solved your puzzle.
Well, I mean, it still hasn't quite 100% been solved yet. There's still...
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, there is still limitations that you haven't quite discovered yet. But you're getting closer.
I at least have a better grasp of what I can do with it in like an emergency situation.
Yep. The exact dimensions and shape in your mind is pretty important.
Yeah.
If that wasn't enough of a hint, but there's also some other things that if you want to try something a little bit more difficult to try and make it error out, we can explore that.
Well, Gil, he's gonna, because that's a pretty fucking wild big object.
Yes.
He's going to attempt to hold the cube up to like the empty space where it was and put it back.
Okay. All right. So this is interesting. Because unless you were holding it in pretty much the exact same space that it was before, it's going to try to put it out and actually roll a proficiency check for me. This is going to be a hilarious roll to see how close you can hold your hand to the exact original position that you were before.
Definitely not close. I imagine after he sucked it up the first time, he would have done that thing where you throw it up in the air and you catch it in your hand and like look very satisfied with yourself.
Okay. Oh, but are you trying, like, when you put the thing against the wall and press the button, are you trying to put the cube in that exact same place? Because otherwise, you can imagine that if you put it like up against the wall in another spot where it's open, then things will happen.
He'll try best as he could to put it exactly where it was.
Okay.
That's a 3 proficiency.
Okay, gotcha. So in that instance, you can actually see when the one detail that I guess I should elaborate on is when it actually sucks it in. Is it's kind of in the blink of an eye. It's a very fast, but it's almost like the object that you have imagined in your head gets minimized and sucked into the cube, and when it reappears, it comes out of the cube and re-maximizes. So it's like it's growing in size to fit its original size, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So when you put it in that place, that's going to be close enough to kind of get it sort of good, but not perfect. So when you press that giant sphere starts expanding really, really fast in that area, and it doesn't quite match up to where that hole was, so it gets caught on the inside and re-solidifies the sphere in the hole that has been created. But because it was off slightly, it basically pushes against you really hard and like rockets your fist away from it. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, with an a really strong force, like, it's, do physique. Just give me a physique roll real quick. Okay.
That's a 5.
Gotcha. So, the cube, rockets off at high velocity, but you manage to fucking squeeze your little big, strong man fingers and hold on to it so it doesn't like rocket off anywhere.
All right. Well, that's good to know.
So definitely take care when you are rematerializing things.
Okay. But just for future, just in case, Gil's gonna real quick suck up let's say just like a meter diameter boulder. Not a sphere. Think of like a many pointed star, but like completely 3D. If that makes sense.
Gotcha. So when you stick the cube, I'm sorry, this is getting like really specific now, but when you put the cube against the wall, where is the cube in relation to this pointed star?
It'd be on one of the points, so it'd be in contact with the shape itself.
Okay. In that case, how far away are you from the holes that you've previously created?
I would go to like a new section of wall.
Okay, in that case, it does seem to work, and it sucks that up. But I guess from your perspective, it almost looks like it doesn't work because there's just going to be a little pinhole in the wall to where the point was. And then you can imagine that if you like picked open that, there'd be an open like chasm in there in the shape of what you just imagined in your head.
Okay, cool. There's a few more things I think I would like to try, but for the sake of not being boring, we can just move on from there.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. This is good. It's coming together. Cool. All right, so you guys, like I said before, have about a day and a half remaining of just abyss exploration, with no immediate danger to you guys when it comes to creatures, because you've got this giant, really strong posse with you. Is there anything that you guys would like to do on the way up, or talk to, Jiro or Hoblog or any of the Black Whistles? Anything specific that you guys would like to do? And just FYI, that you can tell like the group of people, as most cave raiders are, they're just excited about the abyss. So if you guys just want to like do something fun, they're like, oh yeah, that sounds good. They'll accommodate you.
Yeah, I imagine there's nothing in particular I want to talk to them about, but I imagine Tom's just, talking about abyss stuff, and is like walking with like his Doc Ock arm holding the book, and he's like turning the pages and pointing and
Gotcha.
just talking to the Black Whistles about stuff.
Right.
But there's nothing like specific I want from them.
Gotcha.
I'm just trying to build up that lore, man.
Yeah, boy. Okay. Gil, Ahi, anything?
And I can think of.
Just out of curiosity, I'll ask, what their expedition. Oh wait, no, it was like they were first time black whistles, right?
Only the only one that was a very first time black whistle was Nat, and but the group that was with him, the other 7 people, they were new black whistles. So you can tell that maybe they had only gone on maybe 1 or 2 previous raids down to the 4th layer. But the black whistles that are with you right now are way more experienced.
But would I know that like the purpose of their mission was as like a initial exploratory one for the new guys?
So I guess at this point you would probably know this, but when you get down to the like black whistle test, it's less of a black whistle test in the same way that this one is done. It's more that you have to show that you are capable of becoming a black whistle. You're given a black whistle, and then you go down as a part of a normal raid. And if you are shown to be capable, then you get to keep it. So this was basically his initiation into it. It's black whistles are not chosen lightly, and it's one of those things that like pretty much like if you have your black whistle and you go down your cave raid, like you're gonna stay a black whistle. It's just kind of a formality thing. But yeah, you're essentially a seasoned veteran at that point, and you are a true delver of the abyss, and you are going on a cave raid with other black whistles.
Okay. I think Gil's probably still not super used to how, I guess, normal it is for people to be lost to the abyss.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll kind of shy away from the merriment with them.
Yeah, you can say, I mean, they lost like a third of the people. They lost 4 of their comrades, and, you know, they were broken up about it, but you can also tell that they are not like distraught.
Mm-hmm.
Stone cold. I'm happy to just teleport to the top.
Yeah. We'll say that maybe on the first night that you guys camp, they one of the black whistles whips out a bottle of brandy that he had been saving. It's a big giant jug of extra strength brandy that he says, "Well, I was saving this for when we got back up to the top, but things kind of went south, so I figured we could just go ahead and celebrate it here. It wasn't quite the mission success that we were hoping for, but at least most of us are getting back in one piece. Here's to the 4 fucking people who died, whose names I don't have. Here, and they all like join in and."
Here's to what's his name.
Yeah. And they all take a round of shots, and you guys are free to join in if you would like.
Ooh, how straight-laced is Tom? Do I partake? I think I'll like have like a sip and then hate it and pass it to Gil or Ahi. I'll pass it to Ahi.
What is the drinking age in Orth?
There is none.
It's a rough life, man.
North. That's why they only drink down here.
I mean, we've had plenty of margaritas at John and Dawn's.
That's true. Yeah, I'll take a sip, hate it, and pass it to Ahi.
Yeah, it is definitely
stick
very.
with my spaghetti.
It's definitely very strong. That's for sure.
Yeah, Gil will have one out of respect.
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Oh, no drinks for me. I've got spaghetti.
Look, man, it tastes bad. Spaghetti tastes good. What do you want from me?
Yeah,
It's true.
For Ahi, I can't remember if we established with the margaritas. Is she like fine with drinking it? Like, does she like the taste of alcohol? Does she like join in on this?
She does it socially, but I can't say she really enjoys it too much.
Right, yeah.
She does pretend to.
Gotcha.
I mean, if you only can drink alcohol straight, no mixers, except for the magic margarita, I feel like I'd rather just stay sober until the day I died.
Well, all right, you guys share a merry night together in the abyss. This is the first time you guys have actually slept. You guys actually don't even go in a cave or anything. You're just kind of out in the abyss. And this is the first time you guys have been out in the abyss at night, like not in a cave or anything. So it's probably unlike anything you've ever seen, because in the distance you can kind of see some like twinkling lights of maybe some phosphorescent bugs and stuff that almost look like stars kind of flying around everywhere. And it's just a nice, beautiful scene. Yeah, imagine that in your heads. Love it. Cool. All right. And then you guys wake up and you're all good, and then you march the rest of the way back and sing songs into town as you get into town, and everyone's jovial and merry, and you guys are back up at Orth. Good job!
Yay!
Did it, team.
It's a little hollow because we're not going to get like thousands of dollars this time.
Right, yeah.
Do we at least get to level up again?
I don't know. Maybe we shall see. But, one thing I will say, the Blue Whistle test didn't cost any money, but as a part of it, people send, or people get sent pretty regularly to go down to the secret camp in various places just for supply runs and stuff. So as part of this, you guys did have some supplies for the secret camp, and you did take some artifacts that were stored in the camp up with you. So I'll say your backpacks were maybe a little bit heavier than usual, but nothing that would have burdened you along the way, if that makes sense. So that's kind of like the, quote, payment for the Blue Whistle test.
Cool.
Cool. So you guys get back up, and everyone in your party everyone in your party is going up the normal path. No one's taking the main elevator. All just kind of going together. And once you get up to the top, a couple of the Black Whistles decide to branch off and say, I'm going home. I'm going to see my family, but I'll see you guys at the CRG headquarters maybe sometime tomorrow, and say goodbye. But most of them continue with you guys. Hoblog says, like, yeah, we'll just take a quick stop by the CRG to drop off the artifacts that we're carrying, and make sure we get the paperwork in order for you guys to get your Blue Whistles. And yeah, we won't have them ready yet today, but tomorrow we should have everything paperworked out and good to go. So you guys get there, you do the paperwork stuff. Do you say anything to June along the way as you come through the gate, or Beatrice as you walk in the CRG?
Fucking who?
God damn it.
Just give him a wave. Hey, like, howdy, y'all. Next time you see us, we are going to have some Blue Whistles.
Oh, hell yeah. Good job, guys. You didn't die. You're getting your Blue Whistles. I'm so dang excited for you.
That's the June I remember.
Yeah. Something
I'm just
like
gonna
that.
do a general wave and say, hi, Beatrice.
She gives you a little nod and a quick little flick of her hand.
What is that?
I don't know. It's like a quick little hand raise, not like a jovial wave, but just like good to see you guys are back. And that's mostly it.
That's Beatrice.
Yeah, because she's supposed to be like Roz.
She was
So
way
Beatrice?
more friendly than Roz.
Yeah, it's true. She was a little bit more friendly than Roz. So then you sign the paperwork, and then you are done, and you drop off the artifacts, and Hogard is really happy and says good job, and yay!
Woo! we did it!
And maybe you can say hi to Odie or Illith, but you don't actually have any more money, and I don't have any more items for you to buy anyway, so yay!
Yay!
And I don't think you would actually go say hi to Illith, because it's Illith.
I was assuming she would be the one we'd have to sign the paperwork with.
Yeah, sure, why not? Helgard leads you in and then explains to Illith that you guys did a wonderful job fending off a nasty horde of bandits, and fills the CRG in on exactly what happened, and you guys can give a quick little 2 cents on what happened, make sure everyone's story's straight, they got it all on the records, and they're good to go.
I mean, Hoblog, I don't know if you can vouch for us, but I think that's like the bandits we fought and everything. I think we could just skip straight to Moon Whistle, right?
Oh, you haven't even been down to the 3rd layer yet. Don't worry, you'll get there eventually. And if you keep your this kind of progress going, if you keep beating up these bad bandits, you'll be there in no time. But let me tell you, once you start going into the 3rd layer and beyond, you gotta start being really careful. You can imagine the 3rd layer is a 4,000-meter vertical cliff face with very treacherous caves and animals, so be careful. Don't get too ahead of yourself.
Can I try to catch Hoblog so he doesn't fall down this pit? Whatever's happening to
him. He's walking away slowly. No, he's says not quite yet, but maybe soon for the purple whistle. Most people usually have at least a year experience under their belt before they become purple whistles, but you guys seem to be going way faster than that, so probably not that long. What'd you say, Ian?
It's just because we're so good at it.
Yeah.
Are there any specific criteria we have to meet to qualify to test for purple whistle, or?
It's pretty much the exact same thing as blue whistle. So, get some more experience under your belt, and if people feel like you're ready for it, then you can sign up for the purple whistle test. And in the same vein as the blue whistle test, that will be, you'll go down to the 3rd layer for the first time, and once you are good there, then you'll come back and get your purple whistles. And then, like I said before, the black whistle test is a little bit different, where the cave raiders actually come together and decide whether or not you're ready for black whistle, and then they'll give it to you, and then you get to go down to the 4th layer on your first raid with a proper raiding group. And there's no instructors or anything. You're just part of a black whistle raiding group, and if they see that you are indeed worthy of it after that trip, then you keep your status.
Got it. All right, well, I'm bushed, so I'm going to head back to my sad motel.
Yeah, but, where did you sleep last time? Was it just one of the motels?
Well, last time we were up here, I slept at Tom's house because we went.
That's right, yeah.
For spaghetti dinner.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you're more than welcome for a celebratory dinner. And
I appreciate the offer, Tom, but something tells me you should have this dinner, just you and your parents this time.
All right, but if you get tired of that motel bed, you know where to find us. And I'm just gonna go home and say hi to my parents because I'm a child. I'm 6. I'm 15. I'm gonna go home.
Cool. Do you immediately question your parents about what you and Ozen talked about?
I mean, not like immediately. I don't just bust in, Mom! But we can do that now if you would desire it.
No, I don't have to. There's 2 other characters that we could also see what they're up to.
Gil's doing push-ups. He doesn't have anyone to talk to about any big revelations right now, so skip him.
There's got to be a bartender somewhere in this place. Isn't that who people talk about their problems to?
Something like that, yeah.
You just assume Gil's an alcoholic? Damn.
No, but isn't that like the cliche? When you have no one to talk to, you talk to a bartender? Am I making that up?
And you don't have to get drunk to do that.
Have I just watched?
Gil's gonna go back and write a letter to his wife.
Aww, there we go.
Just kind of giving her an update of everything that's happened.
Nice. I like that.
Oh, I was gonna say, have I just watched too much Cheers?
The answer is yes, obviously.
How dare you?
Cool.
What are you doing, Ahi Tuna?
Yeah, Ahi, what do you do?
I want answers.
Cool. Do you immediately go up to Beltero and question her?
I think it's time.
Cool. All right. So you go back to the Beltero orphanage. It's probably getting close to nightfall. You guys probably made it back up to Orth just around dusk. So she's probably she's done with her regular tasks for the day, and she's just kind of in her office, like taking care of like paperwork stuff.
So specifically, I'm just trying to remember from last time. It is Ahi's mother's only that had some connection to, because she really didn't tell Ahi very much. Just, dude, your mom was special and Belchero knows.
Yeah, it was intentionally pretty vague.
That son of a bitch. So, Belchero.
Oh, Ahi, you're back from your blue whistle test. How did it go?
Oh, it was pretty good.
I'm assuming you got your blue whistle?
Yeah, they said it'll be ready in a couple days.
Oh, well, I'm very proud of you.
Thanks, Belchero. You never told me you knew Ozen. What's up with that?
When you bring that up, she gets like a pretty surprised look on her face and says, Did you talk to her much?
Surprisingly, yes.
And what exactly did she say?
What do you think she might have brought up, if you had to guess?
Well, quite honestly, knowing her, she does have a sense of duty about her, so I doubt she divulged any actual useful information to you.
No, she sure didn't.
Yeah, but I also imagine that she asked you to pester me.
Right.
And is this you pestering me?
Yes, it is. Do you feel pestered?
No, I know this would come to pass at some point, but it's just not something I'm sure you're ready to know yet.
I mean, when would I be ready to know? I mean, I can't just live forever doing small stuff.
My plan was originally to tell you exactly what happened with your parents, I'm assuming, that Ozen told you, about the time that you got a black whistle, because then I think you'd be ready to really take on some challenges that may lay ahead of you.
My God, you were going to wait that long? I mean, I know I'm on a good trajectory, but black whistle?
Well, let's just say that this stuff isn't really going to become super relevant until then. And I was afraid that if I were to tell you everything before then, you might do something rash before you're fully prepared.
I think it's too late for all that. So,
Yeah.
what are you hiding from me?
Why don't you go ahead and make a roll for me?
Beltro, no.
This is bullshit.
You can get
This is fucking bullshit.
you can roll either negative charisma or positive charisma. Negative being like trying to bully her, and positive charisma to try and sweet talk her into telling you.
Okay.
Which one of those is Ahi's style?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to attempt to bully Beltro, so I guess I will use my worst stat in the game, positive charisma.
Really? You're not going to try to bully her into telling you?
I almost want to do the fate point to make you do negative, because that seems out of character.
You think it's in character that Ahi's a bully?
Not bully. I'm not expecting you to bully a grown ass woman, but like, not be nice about it.
You bitch.
To guilt trip.
Yeah, I don't think it means it's specifically only bullying. Negative charisma would be like intimidating, or like Morgan said, guilt tripping.
Exactly.
If I had thought about the guilt tripping angle, maybe, but he's not going to attempt to like shake information out of her. Okay, I'll do negative charisma, and I would like to use a fate point for my aspect graduate of Beltro Orphanage.
Cool. Yep.
And I'd like to add, I rolled a 2, I would like to add a flat 2 to that.
Yep. And you can't really get much better than that. So I think the best you could have rolled was a 6 with a fate point. So with
That's
the
5.
yeah. Is it 0 plus 4 plus 2? Yeah.
No, yeah.
Yeah. The maximum possible.
Minus. Yeah, I could have done a 6. Yeah.
So
Good enough.
Okay, give me some in-character dialogue that's more on the aggressive side to make her tell you.
I have been here my entire life, and you have been keeping secrets from me. Like it sounds like a very important secret as well. Explain yourself now.
She looks down at her desk and takes off her reading glasses and puts them down and sighs heavily and says, "Well, Ahi, as you could probably tell, I was very good friends with your parents. Best friends. Your mother and I were very, very close. As well as your father. We were very good friends together. And we had been for a very long time. I've done a number of cave raids in my time, Ahi, but the last one I ever did was with your parents."
And you didn't think it would be important to tell me that you knew them at all?
I'll get to that. But just know this. I was never trying to keep any secrets from you to hurt you. I've only ever wanted to help you. Because in some ways I feel guilty for what ended up happening. I felt I wasn't necessarily the best of friends that I could have been with your mother. I feel like I slipped, but if you truly wish to hear what exactly happened, I'll tell you.
You know I need to know.
Well, Ahi, your mother and I were black whistles for a good amount of time. That's when she met your father.
You were a black whistle?
Yes. And that's even in the show. She used to cave raid a lot. I'm actually not sure if it's in the show, but it's in the manga. But
Does everybody know that, or is that not something people would normally know?
That's actually that's a good question. I'm not entirely sure if that would be common knowledge, but I think for the canon here, let's say that it's not necessarily fully common knowledge. Maybe that she raided in the past, but not that she was like that advanced of one.
Sounds good.
Yep. And your mother and I had gone on several raids together, and she met your father. and they fell in love, and they had you. But their love for cave raiding was, as you can probably tell, very, very strong. So while they always made sure that you were in a good spot before they went down, they didn't change their lifestyle when you were born. Eventually, your mother came to find those gloves that you currently now wear on your hands, and they were definitely a powerful tool for sure. As I'm sure you found, I've seen you here, Ahi. I know how proficient you are with those things, and you can do some real damage when you put your mind to it. But
a whole lifetime of practice will get you there, I guess.
Yes,
even a lifetime.
But after she became proficient with those, she was definitely a skilled black whistle, but it pales in comparison to what she became when she found the next artifact in her collection. It's something unlike we had ever seen before. We didn't really fully come up with a name for it, as it never went through the channels of the CRG, because after she found it, she was taken by it, let's put it that way. So we ended up calling it the Prehensile Band. And while that seems like a bit of a silly name, it was by itself not that powerful of an item. But when combined with those gloves, Ahi, your mother became something that was almost all powerful. I can't imagine anyone, not even Ozen, not even Bondrewd, no one that could have taken her on. That prehensile band, when worn, it is essentially a crown-like item that attaches to your head and sticks on there permanently. But from then on, whatever object you touch, anything that is touching your body, you have prehensile control over. And the forces that you have are not very strong. It's only a few tens of pounds of force, maybe. So while you could touch some things and maybe bend tree branches and stuff, that's one thing that you could do. But combined with those gloves, Ahi, can you imagine what that allows them to do?
Oh, I can imagine. Where's this now?
Your mother, after she picked up that band, she practiced and practiced with it, and you can imagine the swirling death storm that she became. Pretty much anything within... How long are those things? Like, how long are the silk wire? Like,
well, they're like as thin as like a spider web.
Like, how long are the strands?
Yeah, I'd imagine they were like hundreds of feet long.
Right. Yeah. So, would you say let's actually come up with a specific length right now? Would you say 100 feet is a good length? Like 100 feet on each arm?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So you can imagine, Ahi, that anything that got within 100 feet of her was already dead if she wanted it. Those things whipping around, you can imagine just a small little piece of silk with even only tens of pounds of force going through the air. Can you imagine the speed that those things whip around and what they could do to anything? I'm telling you, Ahi, she was frightening. From then on, she became known as one of the most feared black whistles around. And your parents were never ones to gloat, that's for sure. They were always pretty secretive. So the only people that really knew what she was capable of were the inner circle of Black Whistles. She would never reveal this crazy power unless she needed to anyone lower than Black Whistle status, because you can imagine what kind of stir that could cause if people knew about it up there. You can imagine the things that people would pay her to do, that the things that people would try to kill her for. Can you imagine what people would try to do to get those gloves and that band for themselves? So she was smart.
I know where you're going. Yeah, I get it. Go.
She was smart. She was secretive about it. But at the same time, she became complacent. She became, let's just say, arrogant in her power. And it's hard to say arrogant because she really was that powerful. But on one raid, when we went down to the 4th layer, it was just a regularly scheduled raid. Myself, her, your father, and a couple more in our main delving group were going around in a specific part of the 4th layer to scout out a new area that had yet been essentially undiscovered. Few people had been sent out there to look at it before, but none of them ever came back. And your mother, being as fearless as she was at the time, decided that she could take it on. And quite honestly, we believe that too. So we followed her, and we got there. And unfortunately, even as powerful as she was, it doesn't really save you from some of the creatures that are down there. I wish I could say your mother died in some spectacular fight or something interesting even, but no. In that area of the 4th layer lies a creature that is unlike anything I've seen before. It's a flying dragon-like thing that came up and swiftly just took her out, just like that. We were walking alongside of a ledge, and it swung up before we could even realize it, and bam, there she went. And there was nothing I could do. I really wish I could say I could have done anything to prevent it, but that was it. She was gone. I blame myself for not trying to talk with her more about that, to maybe be a little bit more prepared. I really don't know, Ahi. I really just wish I could have done something. When she went down, your father went over to help as well as me, while the rest of our party tried to defend us against that monster. They all fell very quick. Without your mother, we really couldn't do all that much to defend ourselves. Of course, we had artifacts, but nothing that could have saved us from that thing. And I managed to get the gloves off of her body, but the band, being as it is, I couldn't just snatch up because of the way that it basically just binds to the back of your head. But after the rest of our party lost their lives to this monster, the only one that was left was your father and I, and he told me to go. He told me to get out of there, and he would do everything he could to try and defend off the monster, to bring back your mother's body or something, just get me to go. You know how situations like that could be. He was a brave man, but ultimately, he lost his life too. He managed to give me enough time to escape. So it was just me left. I lost your mother, my best friend. I lost your father. And I lost the rest of my squad. The only thing I had left were these gloves and you. So, I vowed that one day I would give them back to you. But when it comes to that band, I know how tempting that could be. I guarantee that it is still there on your mother's body. No one, after what happened to our group, no one ever dared go there again. But if you manage to get there and get that band, you would become just as powerful. But at the same time, you'd have to face that monster. And honestly, I don't think you could. I think very, very few people could, and I know you'd be tempted to. But just promise me that you're not going to do anything rash. That you're not going to go down on your first Black Whistle raid now or tomorrow or whenever, and you're going to go try and find it.
Beltra, you know me. I never do anything rash.
Well, that's good.
We'll get it. And I think you know that I'll get it. But I'll wait for now.
I was afraid to hear you say that. I will tell you what happened, but I am not telling you where that band is yet. I don't think you're ready, and I know you know that you're not ready yet either, so when the time comes, I'll tell you how to get there. But until then, I'm going to hold that off. Can you promise me that you won't try and find it on your own?
I don't really think I stand a good chance of finding it on my own, to be honest with you.
You don't. So don't try it.
All right. Well, how about you write down exactly, to the best of your recollection, every detail you know about its location, then lock it up in your private vault, and I'll come for it when the time.
What do you mean by you'll come for it? You're not going to sneak into my...
I'll come get you.
I tell you what. I will do that for you. And I will put it somewhere that you do not know. And I'll tell you when the time comes.
Fair enough. I'm going to bed, Beltra.
It's getting late.
And one more thing. I don't blame you. I don't blame you for any of that.
Well, I do appreciate that, Ahi. It does mean a lot. And I'm sorry you never got to see your parents or... I know this has been a bit of a grim conversation, Ahi, but holy shit, your mom, with that artifact, I mean, you can imagine, right? Like, the things she was...
Yes, Beltra. I know, she was very cool.
She could fly around, Ahi. She was like Spider-Man, but like if Spider-Man had full...
Do you or do you not want me to go right now? Stop it.
All right, you're right. Okay, well, you get some rest.
But did you say she could fly?
I mean, almost. She might as well have.
God, that's so cool.
Well,
So just awkward.
Yeah.
Thinking about around for a while. Oh, yeah. That's right.
I know that look, Ahi. You go get some rest. You've earned it. You'll be a Blue Whistle tomorrow.
You should probably work on that manifesto, because I'll be a Black Whistle before the blink of an eye.
Who knows? Maybe when the time comes, I'll go with you down there. It's been a long time since I've gone on any raids, but I've got some pretty good skills I'd like to show you someday.
That'd be awfully poetic.
All right, well. Good night.
Bah.
Bah. So now you know the truth.
Now you know.
What do you think? Is Ahi just going to try and go down there like tomorrow anyway?
No, I said from the beginning when I was making my character, her number one thing is to die in the abyss.
Yeah.
Her number two thing is to get every artifact on the planet.
Yeah, but it's like a tight number 2.
Yeah, they're pretty close.
Cool. Tom, I know you said you probably wouldn't bring up the whole Ozen thing immediately. Would you?
No, I mean I wouldn't just walk in the door and do it. Like, I'll have a nice dinner with my family and then be like,
okay, yeah, you would still ask him about it like that night.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Well, Tom, this is your dad speaking. This is John.
Is that what he sounds like?
Apparently, yeah. Good job on becoming a blue whistle. How did everything go down there?
I'm sorry, I can't get past the voice. It went great, and I like hold out my arms and like do like a circle. Like, no injuries.
Yeah, look at that. First time for everything, right?
I'm gonna fail to mention the fact that I did in fact get a rapier to the arm.
Right, yeah.
I'm just gonna count on them not noticing that one. Yeah, no injuries. It was great, and I just launch into the whole story.
Gotcha.
Excluding the battle in Ozen's office.
Oh, so you don't even tell them about that at all?
Oh no, it's just the trip down, having dinner, and then like the trip back up with the black whistles.
Cool. Because that info will probably get around eventually, but for now.
Yeah, I'm just not going to mention that one.
Cool. How do you mention the sweet new Doc Ock arm that you have?
I'll say it was found, or it was left behind by a black whistle, and Ozen let me have it.
Nice.
And I'll say, technically, maybe not technically, it wasn't left behind, it was stolen, but still. That'll be my segue into, speaking of Ozen.
They get a little bit of an uneasy look on their face. Seems like that happens a lot when people talk about Ozen, doesn't it?
Yeah, to be fair, I'm still not sure how I feel about Ozen.
That's what I'm going for. Yeah.
Like, I would strongly dislike her, but she let me have this backpack, so call it even. So speaking of Ozen, she told me I should ask you about Liza, Mom.
She gets a worried look on her face and is like, damn it, Ozen. Well, I figured this would come up someday or another, but oh boy. Here, why don't you sit down?
We're already sitting. We're eating dinner.
Oh, is this actually at dinner?
I'll sit down harder if you want.
Okay. Well, hold on real quick. And, hey, honey, can you? And he's like, yeah, I'll do it. And he makes up 3 margaritas.
I freaking knew it!
And
I'll say, can I have mine with salt?
He puts so much salt on it, just like you like, you monster.
Just the way I like it.
You really gotta watch your sodium intake, Tom. It's kind of excessive.
Watching your sodium is for the weak and old. I want all the salt!
Oh, boy.
I just, like, full on lick the salt off the rim, maintaining eye contact.
Disgusting.
Anyway.
You guys need to talk about something?
Sorry, our real world grievances are coming to light here.
Yeah, I can tell.
When you order a margarita with salt, what else are you supposed to do? You use the salt. Yeah, I have to lick it off the rim, but that's how you get the salt.
Morgan, we're all friends here. Nobody's attacking you for your salt habit.
Nick has attacked me.
Well, anyway, moving on to let's.
You'd like that, wouldn't you?
Boy. So they give you a little margarita, and even though you might not like the taste of really hard alcohol, you do love your dad's margs. They only come out
Who doesn't love my dad's margs? Yeah. Let's be real.
And this has only happened a few times before because they're 15, and even though there's no drinking age in Orth, they are responsible parents.
Yeah, but like this is the only source of margaritas in all of Orth.
I don't quite know about that, but
didn't we say in either the last episode or episode before it was like margaritas didn't exist before this artifact was discovered?
You did say John had a specific artifact that helped him make good margaritas.
Oh yeah, that's definitely true. I didn't know if it was the artifact that brought margaritas into existence.
Maybe it was a joke maybe it was me that said it as a joke, like, oh, margaritas didn't exist before this, because it's a magic artifact.
Oh boy. We'll just say it makes the best margs.
Okay. Perfect marg every time.
There you go. So, they take a few sips of their drink, and your dad looks at your mom and just gives her a nod, like she can tell the story. So, she goes on and says, "Well, Tom, let's just say that I have a bit of a relationship with Liza. I'll just come right out and say it. She, and make sure, don't mention this to anyone. Maybe not even your group of friends in your party, because if it gets out, it could lead to, less than ideal things, but she was my sister."
I just want to say, out of character, I called that so hard.
Yeah, you did. Not that it was that hard to call, but
I got that on the nose.
And, well, I can't say that I was ever super close to her. Quite honestly, she left at a very young age to come out to the abyss. She was always striving for adventure, and boy howdy did she get it. And we did keep in contact for sure, but at one point I got a letter from her saying that she had a little baby daughter and the hell that she went through to get her back. I'm sure you know all about Rico's story. She's been kind of a legend in your eyes, I know. And
yeah, I'm sure you know I have like books on books on books up in my room. You have seen me, Mother.
And you can tell that maybe she had gotten those books before you, and maybe those books were kind of already in the house, and maybe she read some books to you at a young age talking about stories of Liza and stuff, and maybe that's where some of this big obsession came from. So she says, yeah, I heard a lot about Liza and of the crazy things she did, but when you get to be as famous as she was, really any white whistle for that matter, you start bringing a lot of danger to yourself and the people that you know. There's a lot of people that want the power that a white whistle has, and let's just say that Liza was never afraid to get on anyone's bad side. She was never a bad person, but oh boy, she twisted a few heads, let's put it that way. And not even figuratively. She literally twisted heads. There were several instances of bandits coming down, and she was very good at dealing with them. And
Is this supposed to deter me?
Well,
that's cool as heck.
Oh yeah, dude. Liza, I mean, she was my sister, and even though I didn't know her that well, as you said, she was cool as heck. Screw that, she was cool as hell. I know, but it's worth saying. And
real quick.
Yes.
Liza would be older than my mother, right?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
Yep. And I heard tales of, everything that was going on and of the enemies that she made, and she made a lot of enemies, but not like any of them could really do anything about it. She wrote me letters just to see how I was doing. I wrote her letters back, told her about how I met your father, and she wrote me how she met her husband, and his unfortunate, tragic end down in the fourth layer to those bandits. Oh boy, Liza twisted some heads from that. But in the end, her daughter was born, and she continued on Liza's path, and while I don't know the exact details of what happened, after I heard of everything that went on, I thought about coming out here to Worth, and Liza wrote me one last letter about 20 years ago now, saying that she was gonna go down and look for the bottom, that she didn't want anything dragging her daughter down, and quite honestly, she was terrified for Rico. If anyone ever found out that she was Liza's daughter, then she would be, I can't even say what would happen to her. She'd be kidnapped if Liza was lucky, but chances are it'd be way worse than that. So Liza removed any chance of that happening, and she went down to search for the bottom. I know she probably told several people it was for, or I guess the people that at least knew of Rico, that it was for her benefit, but I know her. She just wanted to see the bottom. She was always like that. And after she left, I knew Rico was going to be in a good place. She had Beltero Orphanage and Liza's apprentice to take care of her. And he was always a bit of a natural at it. But after I heard about Rico going down there alone, when she was 12 years old, no less, I had to come out and see for myself what was going on. And that's when your father and I moved out here. And you were only 5 years old at the time. And I know it was early on, so you probably don't remember much from that time, but we've made a bit of a living out here. Unfortunately, I never really did find out what happened to Rico. No one really knows. But I'm just trying to live on and make sure that all the kids that come through here get a good education and a good life ahead of them. So,
you said we moved to Orth. Moved from where?
Boston.
Yep, this is Boston. There you go. That's it. Nailed it.
Oh God, please no.
Where?
Not Boston.
Found out later that your mother, while she was still there, had an affair with a leathery man.
Impossible. My name isn't Seafaring.
That's true.
So the Made in Abyss world doesn't actually take place in our world as far as like it does take place on Earth, but it doesn't take place in like the Earth that holds like the United States and Britain and like that all of that, like none of that exists. So you could be from anywhere. Like if you want to decide like if that's important to you, then you can just
I mean, yeah, but the point is that Orth is a weird island in the middle of nowhere. We came from somewhere else.
Yeah, you moved there.
Okay.
But I said you were like 4 to 5 years old at the time, so it was a little bit too early on in your life to really, have amazing memories of everything before that,
Yeah, how common is it for people to move to Orth?
Not super duper common, but I mean it does happen. Like people do move there, but I kind of have to establish a name for yourself when you do.
Yeah, okay. Wow, that's a lot to take in. And you never told me any of this
Because, Tom, and you need to keep this a secret for yourself as well. If anyone here finds out our relationship to Liza, even though she's long gone, I know it's been a long time since she's been around. I mean, you've seen the tales that still go around, the stories that are told, and people still hold grudges. Even though Liza will never see what happens or what becomes of it, I guarantee you there's still people around here that will try to get back at Liza in whatever way possible. Revenge is something that is a very powerful driver, and it can sometimes lead to irrational things. And while us three, we haven't ever done anything to hurt anyone, that's not...
No, I understand. I understand why it needs to be a secret.
So, don't you go telling anyone. I know you've gotten to be pretty good friends with that Gil and that Ahi, but be very careful who you share this information with. With anyone.
I just kind of say like,
She eyes you, just like, Tom, I'm serious. Don't go blabbing about this.
I just kind of say, I'm still on the fence about whether or not to tell them.
That's fair, yeah.
I'll just say, okay, I got it.
All right.
And then I'll say, so no cool first-hand stories, huh? All those years poring over books to glean any information about Rico and Liza. You got any new stuff for me?
Well, that's the sad truth. Most all of Liza's, escapades are pretty decently documented from stories, at least until she went down for a last dive. And of course, nothing is known about that. No one knows what happened to her, as is pretty much always the case for people's last dives. We did,
but
10 years ago. Sorry?
Can I see the letters between you guys?
If you would like to look at them, yes. Yeah. I have them in a safe in my office.
Well, I do have the Rico superfan aspect.
Yes,
so
yeah.
I want to see that.
Yeah, for sure. And the sad thing is, it's kind of the same story for Rico. Of course, after she was gone, and everyone kind of heard about what happened in the fourth layer, when she was with that little robot boy, and the stories that came of that, and that little inhuman girl, the Hollow as they call them. I mean,
Right, and not a chief, but continue.
Yes, yeah. No one really knows what happened to them either. It's kind of just whispers on the wind. So I wish I could give you more information, but quite honestly, you probably know just about as much as I do.
Still, though, I'd like to read the letters.
That I will give you.
Well, this is a lot to take in, so I'm gonna go to bed. But I'm not gonna be mad. Let's call it even with the whole my arm is furry thing.
I mean, even? We didn't do that to you.
I'm not gonna freak out about this if you don't freak out about my arm.
Okay.
Is what I was going for.
I gotcha. Alrighty, sounds good.
I'm gonna go brush my arm and go to bed.
Sounds good. I imagine on your left arm where the rapier and the harpoon went in, there's probably just like a little itty bitty scar left over at this point. So.
Oh, I'm sure there is, but I was banking on them not noticing that.
Yeah. I imagine that you've probably hidden that from them, or at least in any case, they haven't noticed yet.
I'm gonna keep banking on that.
It's gonna be the slowly growing scar.
How long until my own parents notice the increasing number of scars on my body?
Cool. Alrighty. Well, there you go. She would open up the safe and give you the letters for you to look through, but with the express direction that you return them when you're done, so she can put them back in the safe.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Cool. Alrighty. Well, that's that for Tom.
How come Morgan's characters always get to be like fated and related to Destiny characters?
Because I don't know what else to do with her.
Rude.
I don't know what to do with this girl.
I don't know. I kind of built my character around the fact that I know more about Abyss, like the show and movie and whatnot, than you guys. I kind of built that into him because just naturally, I already know who Ozin and like the camp and all of that, what all that is.
I know.
So it kind of makes sense that he would incorporate that into my character.
It's a good reveal. I'm just joshing because you got to be basically Princess Zelda in the last one we played.
Hey.
Oh God!
You know what? I forgot about that.
I've done it again. I've made my fiance now the titular character.
You absolute mad lad.
Oh boy! Oh no!
How could you do this?
It's okay. You guys actually have way more interesting backstories anyway. Oh,
It's
got
true.
him.
It's like that meme I sent a while ago. It's like an orphan, like parents were murdered, all this awful stuff, and then just, I think adventuring is neat. That's me.
Yeah, I think the big takeaway is Gil and Ahi at this point have pretty clear goals, at least in a big term, but Tom is still doesn't really have any huge driving force. Maybe.
Hey man, I'm just along for the ride. You underestimate how far someone will go just to have friends.
Aww.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah, I'll delve into the fifth layer or wherever Ida Front is. So find your lost son. Yeah, whatever. It's fine.
Hey, I imagine that Ahi's goal kind of lines up with yours, Tom, considering there's a amazing unknown giant dragon creature.
Yeah, I did perk up when I heard that.
Are we gonna have to fight a dragon?
I don't know, man.
God, it's just fucking Dungeons and Dragons after all.
We don't have to, we get to.
You're so right.
All right, so you all have a wonderful night's sleep, and you guys,
Gil
I guess,
sleeps alone.
yeah.
He doesn't have anyone to just say, "I'm going to bed now," too. Actually, do you mind if I read the letter that Gil wrote to Marina?
Yeah, go for it.
Did you actually type out a letter?
That'd be a fucking goof.
No, I seriously like drafted out a letter real quick.
That is commitment, and I respect the hell out of that.
Aw, very nice.
I thought that'd be a cool thing to kind of like sum up everything that Gil's feeling right now.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
All right, so Gil's letter to Marina. Hey, Starfish. Sorry I haven't written in a while, but things move real fast landside. This Orth place is pretty much everything we thought it was, and I've hardly had a moment to catch my bearings amongst the monsters, curses, and what do you know, fucking pirates. But I guess it's not all doom and gloom. Through my travels, I suppose you could say I found the makings of a pretty fine new crew down here. There's a sprightly little one named Tom, just about the age Finn was when he left home. He's a bit of a bookworm, but his heart's in the right place. And I think he'd do just fine between sea and stars if we gave him the chance. And there's Ahi, another strange one, but there's a ferocity and fire burning in there that I'm sure will keep us warm through the coming storms. But most importantly, I think I found him. Seems like he's gotten wrapped up into some dark dealings, but from what I've heard, this hole ain't broken yet. It won't be easy, but I'm gonna find a way down there and I'll bring him back up. So while you're waiting, keep the wind in your sails and an eye to the stars. I can't always see him from down here in that hole, but I'll be looking up there with you. Next time we sail again, it'll be the three of us. Miss you tons and love you more. Gil.
That was absolutely beautiful.
Aw.
Handle it.
Oh, you know what? Where music's gonna be in the next episode?
Or should it be the intro to the next episode?
Well, we're not done with this one yet, so.
Yeah, it was like a recap.
Wait, what?
An intro for...
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I gotcha. I haven't done one of those yet, so...
That's too advanced editing.
You want to recap? Just listen to the previous episode.
Yeah. I don't know why.
That was beautiful. I was actually beaming. I'm sprightly.
Hey. Well, with that, you guys all go to bed and wake up to a shiny new day. And the CRG is waiting for you to get your new blue whistles. Same time.
Yippee!
Yep, same thing as last time. Just meet in that same classroom-esque place as last time at what is it, 10 o'clock. All you guys get there?
I'd like to say I get there at like 9:30.
Right on time.
I'll get there at 9:45.
Cool. In that case, Tom, you sit around for 15 minutes, and then Gil and Tom, you have about 15 minutes to hang out.
I always have my books. I am always just writing and doodling and reading. Oh, wait, I pick a flower and I bring it to Beatrice.
Aww. She gives a rare smile to you and says, "Oh, well, thank you. I do appreciate that."
Yes. I will win you over, Beatrice.
I'll say hi to Beatrice and then come in and sit next to Tom.
She actually gives you a decently warm smile.
I return the smile. How's it going, B?
Oh, it's doing all right, Gil. She does a little wave and maybe a little. Is that leathery?
You beat me to it. I was gonna lean over and be like, Gil, I think she has a crush on you. I'll doodle in my notebook, Gil plus Beatrice with a heart.
I don't like all this like Gil shipping that's going on. He's very dedicated to his loving wife.
Will be tested.
How did I already immediately forget that you have a wife? After that heartfelt letter.
As tempting as it would be to shack up with this woman you've equated to Roz from Monsters Inc.
A sentient slug.
Hey Tom, how was dinner with your folks last night?
Good.
I believe it.
The awkward silence was 100% intentional. How was your hotel?
I mean, they got HBO, so it's not all bad.
Are they treating you right down at the Orth B&B?
Definitely. I mean, I didn't realize it, but with all the money we've been making from this delving shit, we're kind of rich down here.
Well, if you need like better service, you let me know and I'll give them hell. I don't know.
I think I'll manage. Sounds
I
like
just I don't want you to be lonely down there at the hotel. Are they feeding you, Gil?
I'm fine, Tom. Don't worry about me.
Like already pulling out a Tupperware of spaghetti.
Sounds like you got a lot to unpack after last night. So let's just get these blue whistles. We can talk about it later.
I'm so excited.
And at that moment, you hear the clicky clackies of high heels coming down the hall. And a few moments later, you see Illith walk in the door. And she is carrying a little box in her hands. And she goes up to the front little podium thing and puts it down and says, "Well, you three? Man, I gotta say, Hobblog informed me of everything that you guys did. What the hell is with you guys getting yourselves into these kind of situations? You fought 4 bandits that had taken on black whistles and somehow managed to not die? What's up with that?"
You know, well, it just keeps happening, I guess.
Yeah, bad guys show up. What are we gonna do? Like, not hold them off until help arrives? Just let them steal? Steal?
Oh, it's not your fault. I'm just wondering how you guys keep getting in all these awful situations. It's almost like it's someone's planning it out.
It's almost like we're protagonists in a story.
I know, right?
I mean, I gotta say, every time we've gone down there with some CRG folks, and every time we coming up missing arms or all kinds of shit, so maybe it's not us.
To be fair, you were already missing your arm. And I still have mine, it's just different.
Hey, I still have my arm, I'll have you know. I'm just missing my hand.
Fair enough.
And
I still have my hand, it's just fluffy.
And it looks like you've gotten a hand back there, Gil. It looks pretty good on you.
Are you gonna make every woman in Earth flirt with him?
Lilith told us she's married as well.
No, I'm completely kidding. I had to go for the bit.
Listen, she might just be trying to invite him into a menage a trois.
Nah, Gil's too leathery and salty for her.
Get this train wreck back on track. I'm gonna ask Illith. Illith, do we get to keep our red whistles?
Yes.
That is so going in my scrapbook.
How are you gonna put a whistle in a book?
It's a lumpy book. Do you think I don't have like rocks and plants and stuff already like taped and like hodgepodged into there?
So right. I'm sorry I ever doubted you.
I have like a bit of my own arm fur on the page where we went into the that tower thing.
Glue sticked on there?
Yeah. I'm sorry for my whistle. Give me that whistle, Illith.
She opens the box and presents you three
Oh.
shiny new blue whistles.
Oh yeah. Give me that whistle.
You get that whistle.
Oh, I put it on so fast. So proud.
Well, I don't really have anything for you three right now. If you really want to, I'd say once again, take a break, just like last time. You've had
Take a break.
a big few days, but I know you three. You're probably itching to get back down there. So
It's a place I know.
We can go away for the summer.
You guys get one more Hamilton reference and you're done.
Reset like 8 points.
If it's all from the same song, does it still count?
Yes.
Rats.
You can't just sing an entire Hamilton song and make it be okay.
Darn.
Says you. You stop saying lines from them and we'll stop being ourselves.
Damn it, I'm not even trying.
I mean, as long as we get these purple whistles eventually, I'm willing to wait for it.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Damn it.
Oh.
It's like Jim in The Office when Michael wasn't allowed to say that's what she said jokes anymore. No? Nobody?
Well,
I get it. I just don't think The Office is or has been funny.
Yeah, I'm with Ian on that one.
I'm just sad because I don't get any of the Hamilton references.
Wow. All right. Tough crowd. Moving on.
Oh, sorry, baby.
Gross. All right.
Connor.
Give me this freaking blue whistle. Let's get the hell out of here.
You have that blue whistle.
All right, I'm getting out of here.
Nick DeZene, what is up, my dude?
I was going to say, don't feel bad. You get to make infinite references just by making this campaign.
Yeah, it's true. This whole campaign is just one big reference.
It's literally called Fate and Abyss.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's 2 letters away from the name of the show. Alright, I got my whistle. I'm gonna strut my stuff around town, sporting my shiny whistle.
Yeah, do you guys like hang out? What do you do? Do you like hang out together afterwards, share stories, or do anything, or do you march out and go your separate ways?
Stories about what? Remember when we were down in the abyss? Yeah, dude. That was pretty cool. I guess.
I mean, 2 of you at least had some interesting nights. I'm not sure if maybe anyone wants to share with the class, but
maybe it just needs to happen naturally.
Oh yeah. I'm giving you the opportunity.
I say we get lunch and run off into the sunset.
I mean, I'm all down for lunch, but I think if we're trying to get some practice, a little bit more experience before we test for those next whistles, why don't we just check out the bulletin board?
I like the way you think, Gil.
That's a pretty good idea.
You check the bulletin board, and it has pending on it.
God damn it.
I unfortunately did not have time to come up with full ideas for the board, but
You goddamn son of a bitch.
I will have them ready for the next session.
Boo.
Gil waits.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Alrighty then. Is there anything else you guys would like to do on this session? Or shall it be next time?
On Dragon Ball Z.
Yes. Okay, well, next time on Dragon Ball Z. I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty open-ended. That was kind of like the end of an arc right there. So it's got new blue whistles. You now have knowledge of past. Season 1 is now ended.